Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Edmond, your host for the next few hours, along with Mike. And Spence is back.
Hello.
And Bruce is here.
I am here.
You are. Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this show is being brought to you by that VidBlaster guy, Tom Sinclair. And recording is done by Adamus, Ninja 2. Today is February 2nd, 2014. And I realized I am not even ready here. Welcome back, Spence.
Oh, thanks. Good to be back. Well, no.
No?
It's not good to be back. I wish I was still waking up leisurely in the morning and opening the window and looking out at the ocean.
No, you don't.
Sliding by. No, you're ready to, after a week, you're ready to come home. I mean, when you finally get to that point where you say, time to go home, you wish you could just snap your fingers and be home. But it was luckily we did get off the ship a lot earlier than we expected, and we're able to just walk up to the gate or walk up to the check-in and get on an earlier flight, which was great. So that saved us from having to find something to do for 6 hours.
How did you get on an earlier flight?
I just walked up to the gate, and because I'm American Gold,
okay,
I didn't have to pay extra.
Well, I was going to say that the average trash flyer can't do that.
No, and that's why I have permanent gold, because I have over miles on American.
All right, I'm going to stop you right there. Everybody say hi to Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Mr. Steve.
I say, chaps and ladies and lasses out there, hello.
Wow, this
What
is
a
great
sweet sound.
hearing that voice.
What a blast from the past.
Exactly. Blast from the past.
was-
Sometimes they're good and sometimes they come back to haunt you, like me.
Wow.
Welcome back.
Who is Steve again?
Yeah, who was that guy? That stupid
Who is that
accent.
guy?
Yeah, but when
How
it
are you
comes to
doing?
haunting, Steve is the friendly ghost. He's Casper.
Casper's a big brother, yeah.
Yes.
How are you
So
all
Spence-
doing? You all right?
Yeah, doing great. I want to know if Spence
Awesome.
misses the buffets on the ship. I hear that's pretty good.
Actually, yes, they are, and they have some interesting little side things. Like they'll have a 24-hour pizza station, literally 24 hours a day. You can get pizza. They have an Indian station, the Tandoor is called. I thought that was the best buffet food on the entire ship. Was just that one little spot where they had just dedicated to Indian food. But yeah, they do a good job of rotating through different things every day. We ate in the dining room for dinner every night. But yeah, the buffets are amazing.
That Indian food was probably among the most healthy food available on the ship.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you saw a lot of crew members eating there.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they were Indian, just because you just saw them gathering at this place. It was good. Now, there was nothing. The only weird experience we had dining was that we had trouble getting the time we wanted because we were waitlisted, and we got to a table where nobody else showed up. So apparently they were people who decided that they were going to eat at the buffet or change their time or whatever. But the next to last night, we got to the table and there was somebody sitting there and didn't recognize them. Of course, we didn't know who they were. So a man, a woman, and a child. And apparently they didn't speak any English. We sat down and just, oh, hi, how are you? Tried to get attention. It's nice to have somebody to sit with. Not even eye contact. It was very strange. It turns out he was Russian and didn't speak any English.
Steve, just to bring you in, Spence was on a cruise.
I gathered as much from what he was explaining there.
Okay.
Yes, my powers of deduction were working, thank goodness. But thank you for trying to explain it in case they hadn't.
So it was very interesting to be totally ignored. And then they took out cards and started to play cards.
It happens to me all the time, Spence, because I'm 6'7". I'm talking to people all down there, and they think, I thought I heard there was somebody say something, but well, there's, you just don't think to look up and see my lips moving. Oh, it's you talking. I wonder where that was coming from.
Well, this is when you go on a cruise, you kind of expect to have, especially in the dining room, you don't run into too many people that are, extremely shy. They just, most people like to do this and sit at a table with other people to get to know other people, to talk. And to just, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's, you run into people that just dominate, that you can't say any words because they don't stop. But to have somebody who just wouldn't even acknowledge you were there, literally, it was so strange. And then they ordered three, he was trying to pick a wine, and he would point to something, and then they'd bring it out, and they'd open it, and he'd taste it, and he'd say, no, give me another one. And they would give him, finally, on the third bottle, they'd open two other bottles. He finally settled on that one. I've never seen anybody refuse a bottle of wine unless it was bad. So that was strange.
Kind of weird to go on a. I don't suppose they have cruises directly from Russia, but it does seem kind of strange to go on a cruise for because usually most people go on a cruise for the entire experience, not just for the fact of going on the boat, but the whole ambience, the companionship, the docking in different ports, the whole lot, the whole experience is once in a lifetime type thing, isn't it? So to go on a cruise and expect something different, like it sounds like they were, is like really weird.
And I tried to say, well, maybe it's just that they're just so painfully shy because of the language barrier. And I'm thinking, no, there are Russian crew members. There are people who worked in the dining room that were from Russia who spoke Russian. They could have asked for somebody to translate for them, and they struggled through the menu and were pointing. And the poor guy, our waiter, I think he was from the Philippines, spoke very good English, but of course he didn't speak Russian. So it was very odd experience.
Racist.
But the main thing is you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, it was good. Just we were talking before we went on the air about disconnecting and how a cruise used to be the ultimate place to disconnect, because there was no, other than making a ship-to-shore telephone call, you couldn't get anything, right? Because you were just there on the ship. They didn't even, in earlier days, they didn't even have television, satellite television. Now you can watch all the networks, all the news channels, movie channels. You can log into the ship's Wi-Fi. You can, at sea, you can get onto their wireless network, which is international roaming for cell phone. You saw people on the phone in the middle of the ocean talking, oh yeah, how are you? I'm doing good. I'm on a cruise.
So
sitting there texting.
So it doesn't.
Buy pork bellies.
So it doesn't cost $30 a minute anymore?
No, it was actually, what was the price? I think it was $1.99 a minute for phone calls. On their phone.
To join the ship's Wi-Fi?
I didn't even look and see what the price was, because I know that other experiences, it was so outrageous. And I had used the ship's computers at times when it was $7 a minute to use, and I would just go on for, I think it was cheaper than that. I can't remember what it was. To send an email, it cost like $5 or $6 for the short amount of time. But it got to the point where it was so busy, so many people using it, that you couldn't log in. So finally I said, look, I can't even get past the start page. I'm not paying for this. That was probably 5 or 6 cruises ago. I said, I'm giving up on this. If I need to contact anybody, I'll wait till I get to a port, and I'll go to an internet cafe and pay $1 to use the wireless.
So it was a good experience.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm an observer of people.
You needed it.
Oh, yeah.
You feel re-energized.
Yep.
You feel like you can come back to work.
Oh, yeah, back to work full time.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I don't have a full-time job.
Well,
But
full-time, part-time doesn't
I definitely
matter.
have stuff piled up for this week, that's for sure.
All right. So, Steve,
Yes.
I mean, if you want to talk about it, you can tell us where were you. But
I
you don't.
took
you don't
rather
have,
ill, very ill, in fact, and they wanted me to go in the hospital, and I didn't want to do that. So I went and stayed with my dad, and then he became fairly ill. So we were looking after each other more or less. And I finally came back home again last week.
So you were out of reach. I mean, you were. You didn't.
No
do
net
email.
connections, no phone, nothing. Well, I had
Wow.
a cell phone, but I didn't have a internet connection. So it was nice to get back, and I can't remember how many hundreds of emails I had. That took a while to go through.
Did you get my letter?
I didn't get a letter. You asked in the chat last week. I got a package. Thank you very much. I think I did say thank you for that one.
You did?
This is
But
the
he
one
also
I'm on
sent
now.
a post letter.
You did? All right. No, I haven't
Yeah.
had that.
Yeah, when we couldn't get you on email, Mike said, why don't you send a letter? And I did.
All right. No, I haven't seen a letter.
Did you go through all your mail yet?
Yeah, that was one of the first things I did because there was several things in there, but no foreign mail. Not that I'm deeming you as a foreigner, but it is from another continent.
Well, it's only been a month. Maybe it hasn't had time to get there yet.
Interesting. Yeah, right.
It does take a couple of weeks normally, doesn't it?
Actually, it's been 2 months. But anyway, all is okay at this point, so that's what we'll go with.
Yep.
The NSA
I'm
is still
still
reviewing the
kicking.
mail, so you'll get it eventually.
Yeah, the NSA will send me a copy. I asked them nicely.
Probably charge you for it.
With comments.
Yeah, and they'll redact it just in case Amnon may have said, I don't know, pull yourself together or something.
As long as they don't come to see me because I sent you a letter.
I don't think. Well, depending on the contents, I suppose. But if you'd filled it with Bitcoin, then yes, they would have done.
No.
Yeah, let me answer
That's
Merle's
good.
question in the chat. She mentioned something about Chromebooks and security. Basically, a couple things, a few things, maybe four. Chrome OS is not a target of, hackers because one, the OS is, no OS would be impenetrable. Well, Google has offered $1 million, $2 million prize, something like that, for anybody that can hack it. But Chrome OS has security built in, so you don't have to add anything like any antivirus or malware program. One of the other things about Chromebook is every time you boot up your Chromebook, it does a system check to make sure your system hasn't been tampered with in any way. The other thing that's really good for security in Chromebooks is they get automatic updates to the operating system, unlike others. Now, you can set Windows to automatically do it, but you still have to click and all this stuff. But it happens automatically on Chrome OS, so you've always got the latest operating system. So security is not anything that I worry about one bit on using my Chromebook.
There you go, Merle. So Microsoft just announced that SkyDrive, their cloud storage service, will be renamed to OneDrive. This follows the news of trademark infringement case filed by British Sky Broadcasting Group last year over SkyDrive branding. Microsoft had initially hinted at fighting BSkyB's claims over SkyDrive branding, but then decided to step back and rebrand their cloud offering. The Redmond giant has registered OneDrive.com and has also posted a promotional video on YouTube announcing the upcoming change. Why would they think that they could fight it?
I honestly think that they don't. They think themselves above that. That, oh, we're Microsoft. If somebody has that, they'll just acquiesce to us, and it won't be a problem. We're big enough that we can just fill the sky with planes full of lawyers and intimidate them into giving up.
And I will just add, one other Chromebook comment. SkyDrive and OneDrive is your friend if you have a Chromebook, because you can log into your SkyDrive account and create a Microsoft Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, or a PowerPoint presentation. So.
Oh. And anywhere you are, you can pull them down.
That's correct.
Does Chromebook come in any other colors besides Chrome?
The Acer is black or kind of gray.
No brush nickel?
The HP has a white one, and you can get different color trims with it if you. But it's interesting. You Spencer and Steve both are sharing an experience, and I don't know if you want to talk about it more. But being disconnected, being unplugged, quote, whether it's because of an unaccepted or unexpected and not enjoyable illness, in Steve's case or your case, with intentionality going on a ship. And you commented while we were getting ready for the show about people that you saw on the ship, just feverishly working their phones, much like we'd see here on land. How would you describe the benefits, either Steve or Spencer, of being disconnected for a while?
Spence?
Well, I enjoy it. I look forward to it. I mean, I realize that I am not completely unable to be reached. If it was an emergency, they do give you a way to be reached and a phone number to call for relatives if they need to contact you on the ship, and they can find you. Obviously, you're on a ship. You're not like you can run off somewhere unless you're in a port, but they can find you in an emergency. But I really enjoy it. I mean, my phone, like I said, I kept my phone in the safe, except at night when I would plug it into charge, and I would play white noise on it just as for background noise. Because sometimes there would be people out in the hall, be a little noisy, kind of like being in a hotel when you hear people walking down the hall and talking, or if that kind of stuff bothers you. And we use it at home. We have a white noise generator that we use because there are animals in the house that sometimes run around at night and make noise. So we are used to having that. So that's really the only use of the phone was to generate white noise. Mm. And I used a very rudimentary way to send just a few emails. That was when we got to port. I mentioned this before a while ago about how the Kindle, if you have a 3G Kindle, they have there's no charge for when you're in the United States to download books or periodicals to your Kindle. It comes with the purchase of the Kindle, the 3G network. It's called WhisperNet. It's basically the slower version of AT&T's network. And when you're outside the country, you can use, and it works inside the country too, they have what they call an experimental browser, which is just if you think about what the Kindle screen is like, I'm not talking about the Kindle Fire like a tablet, but just a Kindle screen. Trying to use that as a browser is extremely difficult because it is not. It is a very slow LCD grayscale kind of screen. But the point is you can use it, the browser, and I could go to email and I could navigate around on the page and send an email. And it was a way for me to just say, we're here, we're at this port, everything's fine. It didn't cost anything because it charged for the use of the experimental browser, even if you're outside the country. So it was a way of staying in touch. But it was not real time. I didn't check it. I didn't wait for a new email to come in. I used it for 5 minutes and turned it off. So.
And the Kindle worked great poolside in the sun, right? You could still
and you saw a lot of people with Kindles. I mean, that's the nice part about it. You see a lot of people out there. Mm-hmm. Yes, it worked very well. And I don't have the Paperwhite or the one that's backlit. I have the original Kindle keyboard. I think it's Generation 3, just a number of years old. But yeah, it's great. I have a light for at night. It's a little LED thing. I read 3.5 books when I was on the trip.
You can do that.
That's
at
why
home.
you get. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I never have to. I mean, if I read at night, I fall asleep. So,
Then you're sleep deprived.
but I have a book I can recommend called One Summer. It's about the year 1927 and all the things that went on that year. There's an author named Bill Bryson, who is I believe he's a professor of language or English, but he's written several books. One's called The Mother Tongue, which is the history of the English language, but he's very well done. He's very, very capable writer, humorous type writer. But I've read several of his books, but this is a new one that I got as a gift called One Summer. I actually saw people on the plane reading the paperback or the copy version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Good to give you some historical perspective. If you think things are bad now politically, this will show you that it was just as bad at other times too.
Yeah, but look what happened 2 years later.
No,
What's
no.
that? And this is the lead up to the Depression and all the bad decisions that were made. And one of the things he highlights is the meeting that took place between the head of the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank, the Bank of England, and 2 other world banks. I forget which ones they were, and how their decision basically doomed the world economy.
Yep.
What they chose to do.
So Bruce was asking just how do you see people disconnect, right?
Oh well, yeah. You saw people sitting. You might be in the buffet, or you might be sitting out by the pool, and you see people there using their smartphones, and you're not at a port. You're out at sea, and they do offer cell phone service on the ship at what they call international rates, which is very expensive. So here are people using their phone to talk and for data. They might be signing up for the wireless plan, which is still crazy. That's how expensive it is, and they can't get away. They're texting people, they're calling people, they're checking their email, they're browsing, whatever they're doing, and they just let it alone.
Bruce, what was your question?
Well, just, I mean, obviously Spencer had some benefits from being disconnected, chilling and being able to books, not be as the pressure, we get up in the morning and, my alarm goes off and I use my phone for my alarm. And as soon as I turn off my alarm, I swipe down to see what my notifications are. I see I got 10 emails that are work-related and 11 from on my Gmail account, and somebody tagged me in this, and somebody posted this, and there's a fog advisory in Melbourne, Florida, and all this kind of stuff. And I would like to think, that I would be able to disconnect and have the benefit that Spencer describes. One of the ways to do that, and it's been a little while, I need to get back to it, and I will when the weather warms up. But just going on a weekend backpacking trip in the Appalachian Trail, I mean, there's no power up there. And I will tell you that white noise is nice up there too, because when you're used to sleeping in a house and all of a sudden you're out and there's all these noises, just crickets and bugs and, bears thrashing through the woods next to you or something like that. It's nice to have a little white noise to assist your sleep.
All right. So Steve, we want to hear what you, of course, it was under complete different circumstances when you were disconnected. But first I want to say good morning to Nick. Morning.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Everybody's fine as far as we know.
Hi, Steve. Steve here.
Yeah. Well, you should be. Steve?
He dozed off.
AFK.
I don't know what's happening here. I clicked unmute and it muted for some reason. How can you double mute yourself?
He was lucky,
like
I
you.
guess.
And you have to unmute twice.
I don't know. Hey, how you doing? She called twice that then.
No. This is my new name. I'm Greg. Craig, whatever you'd like to call me.
Well, I'll call you Nick if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess.
Good, because I don't like change, you see. I like to keep everything as it was. If only just learnt your name now. As regards becoming disconnected and, so if you like, to a degree, shut off from everything and everybody, It was quite a welcome relief, to be honest. As most of the people that know me know, I was sort of getting on pretty much of a downer and wasn't really becoming involved in as much as what I used to. I mean, I used to be online almost sort of 16, 18 hours a day, doing whatever, but always keeping busy and occupied. And it's just gradually diminished and reduced to the point where perhaps I was only coming on once a week, wouldn't really go and check emails. You know, I'd lost interest in so much stuff that I had been interested in before. So to be put in a position where, well, there you are, you've got nothing now, apart from, you know, watching a bit of television, it was quite a wake-up call, really. I missed it tremendously. I probably won't get back into it in the same way that I used to be, which was, you know, from one extreme to the other. But I would like to get back into it a bit more, maybe. I've never been a social person as far as Facebook and Twitter and things like that. But it's all the things that you do on a sort of subconscious or an automatic level that you don't normally think anything about. Those are the things that you miss. It's, you know, the automatic autopilot when you, like Bruce was saying, when he wakes up and he sort of flips down and he checks what emails and who's posted to a page and things. It's those automatic things that you do that you miss. And it's not until you've been forced not to have them that you realise, even though it's only a small thing, how important it is.
From 1 to 10, how hard was it?
9.
Wow.
I don't know. I had no choice because I worked and at computers, and I said I gradually reduced. I've actually got back into watching television now, although I don't watch live television. I only record the programs that I want, because you can record legally now on your ByteQ copyright numpties. And now I watch the programs that I know I like and I know I enjoy, and watch them back, you know, when it suits me, which is ideal. But I don't watch live TV because it's all staged and manufactured, and the hype is unbelievable, and the artificial suspense that they're supposed to say, you said, and your answer is, we'll tell you after the break. I just want to throw the television out the window. It's so false. I can't stand it. It drives me nuts.
Oh, well.
I tell you, to throw a little tech in with British television, a couple good friends of mine, they run Plex servers, and Plex is a great media thing that you can do. But one of them has a whole folder on his Plex server of BBC television programs. He's also got a folder for television programs from Norway. Of course, it's all in the Norwegian language, but it's got English subtitles on it. But I love going into the BBC folder and watching some of the TV shows. The way they do their camera work and lighting, it's really interesting to me. I like it.
It's
That's
surprising how
good.
different. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I say it's surprising how it is between countries when you look at the techniques that they use. As you say, the lighting and the actual camera techniques, considerably different from country to country, even region to region.
You were
Netflix
saying
has some very good, and Amazon Prime Video as well has some really good BBC produced shows available.
I actually started watching I actually used Amazon Video, Instant Video, for the first time since I've gotten Amazon Prime, which has been probably like 8 months or so, and it's so much better than Netflix. I don't know if you guys have used that in Netflix, but Netflix loads an SD, plays for a few minutes, then buffers to HD. Amazon Instant Video is instantly 1080p.
I see a lot of people talking about Netflix over here. Amazon Prime isn't really mentioned much. Maybe it's the opposite for over in America. Amazon
The interesting
Prime's
thing
better.
is everybody buys Netflix, and Netflix is constantly pulling shows off of the instant streaming queue. I mean, you look one week, there'll be a whole TV series, and then the next week it's completely gone.
I can't see how they can do that. I mean, if they make it available, surely they must have got the licensing and everything right before they made it available to then take it away. It's like Amazon taking away your books like they were doing. It was being reported on some time back. If you buy them and you're legally allowed to buy them, they've legally got the rights and all the relevant licensing and everything in place to have it. Who gives them the right to take it away? It's yours.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's worth $8 a month anymore. I mean, there's nothing good on it. It's all old TV shows and movies. Like there's nothing recent on it.
Let me ask you this: a news story this week on an analyst call. CEO of Amazon announced that they're going to do a price increase between $20 and $40 for Amazon Prime.
They should.
How much? What do you think about how much are you willing to pay? I'm not sure. I would stay with them for a $20 increase or a $40 increase.
I'd pay $50. I'd pay a $50 increase.
You would?
From what I. Yeah, well, this is the first time I've had Prime, and I bought a massive amount of things on Amazon, and I probably spent $300 in shipping last year before I had Amazon Prime.
Right.
Every it may be, I don't know. What is it now? $60 or $80?
$79.
Okay, so let's say they bump it up to $100. That would be a $20 increase.
I'm out.
And I would contemplate it as well, but I remember the one time when I didn't have Amazon Prime and I needed to get a cable the next day. Couldn't find it in store locally. I ended up paying like $25 in shipping for one item. For $100, I can guarantee that I can get a product next day for, $2.99, $3.99, whatever it is.
It keeps going up.
It's just that security thing that if I really need something next day, and it's crucial for something that I'm doing, I can get it one day. I
think it's a good thing to have it available as an option. If you're buying a lot of stuff regularly, then obviously it's going to pay for itself in time, isn't it? But for the average user who doesn't really buy a great deal, $40 is a lot of money.
It's too bad they're not going to let Amazon do their same-day drone delivery. Order a new 42-inch television and have it delivered by drone.
Oh, yeah. How many drones would that take to deliver that TV?
Oh, lots.
They call those drones helicopters. Mike, can you tell us if my microphone is all right, please? It's been a while and it's been messed about, so I don't know if it's any good or not.
If it was any better, I couldn't stand it.
Oh my goodness! Thank you for making me feel great. While I've got the mic, if I may. You people that are here connected at the moment are my friends on the net, basically my friends in real life too. I would appreciate it if you can throw some ideas my way of trying to get back into doing something on the computer to keep myself occupied again, because I have been getting so bored and so despaired and depressed and fed up because I can't find anything that would take my time and my interest. It's just been driving me absolutely crazy. I have to find something before I go completely insane. So if you can have a think and then...
Well, Nick could introduce you to Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, I would not recommend that.
I started Bitcoin when Bitcoin first came out, and I have 0.5.
You have how much? 1.5?
0.5.
Oh.
That's it. Back then, in those days, I had a dual-core Pentium. Pentium 4, I think, maybe? Yeah, Pentium 4 it was. And it was mining for I don't know how long, and I got 0.5. So, yeah, unless you've got something like an IBM mainframe, forget it.
Yeah.
Steve, I don't know over there, but I don't think it would matter. But there are a lot of companies that actually hire people to tech support that are people that are staying home.
Majority of the companies, for some reason over here, like Mixler, for instance, who I very kindly, on Mike's recommendation, sent an email to, and they replied back saying that they only take support on site rather than external support, and that is pretty much the case for a lot of companies. Which is a shame, because why would somebody want to travel into an office when they can do exactly what you're capable of doing over the internet connection at home? Makes sense.
Steve, what do you know about web hosting and the technology behind that?
Only very basics. It's been years since I ran my own site, and I had a tech guy that did most of the technical server stuff. I mean, I could do forums and things, but get them set up and all that.
Web hosting companies are always hiring people for for support and stuff. If you're looking for any of that stuff, there's a website, webhostingtalk.com.
Yeah,
There's
I know that. That's where we found a couple of hosts when we had to move rather suddenly.
Yeah.
But I don't really know that much about the back end sort of things. I mean, getting the forum working and moving things around and formatting, styling, and all that kind of stuff. But the technical server side of things, because it's Linux or Linux, don't really know that much about it.
Steve, instead of going to the company to get hired to do that, the tech support, like you go, instead of going to Mixler, try and find companies there that provide support to companies. So it's like an aggregator.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that may hire, people. It doesn't matter where they are for like support through chat. Of course, it's not going to be phone support unless they have an elaborate phone system. But a lot of them do
like an agency kind of thing.
Yeah, and they don't care. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are.
Okay. Well, the other thing I could do, I suppose, is do like I did with TalkShoe. Find a site and a company that desperately needs help, put it all in place for them, and then tell them to get stuffed. Well, that killed the conversation. Sorry about that, chaps.
No, I had to get up. I mean, I'm looking, and the CPU usage over there is climbing, and over here too, and I don't know what it is. So I had to jump over there and kill a program. It's all right.
But some good ideas. Thank you. If you think of anything else, by all means, send us an email. You've all got my email address. Thank you. I appreciate it greatly.
It seems like with your background that it'll be something in tech support.
Yeah, I'd like that. I mean, something I can do and I can work from at home would be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Jeff Bundy saying Google Helpout, so they're available internationally. I've never heard of a Google Helpout.
Oh, there
I'll
you go.
go and have a
Mike?
look. Thank you.
Helpouts.google.com.
Oh,
Mike, did you get the email from them like 2 days ago?
I don't know what did it say.
So they still never approved my account for whatever reason. And they sent me an email saying that now you have to add a video or helpouts page.
I haven't received that. If I have, I haven't looked at it.
Yeah.
But Mike, isn't that something that Steve could get into?
It could if you get into the right area. Nobody's getting rich on it.
Well, Steve, you said you're looking for something really more to keep you busy and not bored.
Something to keep my brain occupied. Yeah, the problem is that my brain's
you could
whizzing
do
around
that,
all the time.
but you have to do video. You have to have a webcam, and it's really a Google. What they are is they're Google Plus Hangouts, but they're dedicated to helpouts. You can do them for free, or you can charge for them. They can be. I mean, it's right down your alley, and if you could work it out where you could pick up a few nickels here and there, that'd be good too. But it's certainly something worth considering. And figure out what topic. What you should do is go to helpouts.google.com and spend some time browsing through all the various offerings. Look at the ones that have high hit counts and the ones that have low. The ones that have low hits, I wouldn't waste my time. I'm on there offering help for audio for people with broadcasting, webcasting, podcasting. I've had a grand total of about 5 connections, and I've totaled 9, including the ones that were not legitimate, but it's offering something that when people find it, they're thrilled, but it's not exactly something that people are going there looking for. They're surprised to find it. There's not a lot of demand for that in that particular forum. It seems that, believe it or not, the forums that have the most patient are how to use a Mac. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can believe that. It's
I thought they just were.
Well, they do, yeah. But that's half the problem, isn't it? Is people they're so shocked that it just works. They're thinking now there's a catch. There's something wrong. When's it going to blow up?
I see.
Lovely to see you, Eiffel. But yeah, I've not heard of Helpouts, but then saying that, I haven't been around for nearly 3 months, so that's understandable. But they look like they're a very good idea, and I'll have a good look through that. Thank you.
I think the premise is amazing. They just have to implement it, I think, a little bit.
They've got to
better.
get behind it.
Yeah. Right now, they're just using the regular Google plus Hangouts for video, and they just kind of set it up and threw it under the carpet.
And the users are pretty flaky. They will send me, because I'll sit here and I'll go 3 or 4 days and not even. You have to flag when you're available so that people can contact you. Mm-hmm. I've had several people contact me by messaging, asking me when am I going to be available, and I said, or ask me when I'd be available a certain time, and I agreed to it and never hear back from them.
Yeah, well, it's just like anything else, I think.
I don't waste my time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're trying to do it, and like you said, I mean, you are staying in what interests you, which is audio and broadcasting. And if people are not, if it's slow, and on top of it, people are not keeping up their appointments, and you really want to do it, which, I mean, I don't know why you really want to do it just for the hell of it, because you don't have that much time to, you have other stuff that you...
Keeps the mind going.
Yeah, then you can switch, you can follow your advice and go to, I mean, there are other supports you can do. You are a man of, jack of all trades.
Master of none. I actually am thinking about offering a. You have to. The way the help outs work is you have to decide what help you want to offer. You write your proposal page to show the description as to what you want to do. They will review it, decide whether to accept it. If they do, then you're in business. If not, then they'll tell you how you have to rewrite it and what you have to do. I am considering offering one for Google. It's not Google anymore. It's program called SketchUp for beginners, for woodworkers, because I've gotten to be pretty good at it. And now Amnon says, why would you want to do that? Well, the reason I want to do it is because the more you teach it, the better you learn it. And I would like to advance my own knowledge there. I don't know though. I get a little tired of, I don't mean this the way it sounds, I get a little tired of people sometimes, because some things that have happened recently that just do not renew your faith in people, that they say they're going to do things and then they don't. You
need to start charging.
No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about other things. I mean, one is that I have a piece of equipment that I was loaning a guy, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'll go pick it up." Okay. A week later, have you picked it up? No, I can't get to my shop. It's raining. Okay. A week later, have you had any success? No, I really want to do this though. I've got to go pick it up. I finally just worked it out with somebody else. Now he hasn't called me back in a week.
Well,
people just don't. I don't know. They don't have any skin in the game. They don't seem to.
Yeah, you have that all over. I mean, we all.
Oh, absolutely.
We all go through that. But as far as
I think that's a product though of just the world we live in. It's not a good thing, but it's just there's so many things to be distracted by, so many things that just fly by you. You say, "Oh, that's a great idea. I should grab onto that." But you really you have to know your limitations.
Maybe this is overly dramatic, but as far as I'm concerned, when you tell somebody you're going to do something and you don't even bother to follow up, I think that goes to...
Absolutely. But it's also maturity. I mean, I'm not trying to defend people to do that, because the serial offender.
I've done the same thing. I mean, I'm a procrastinator too. I mean, but eventually, when the rubber meets the road, I do what's expected of me, or what I've committed to do, even if I lose my butt over it.
I think it's that you're right. It's exactly got to do with character, because even if it's delayed, you'll still make the effort. You realize, I got to do that, and you will do it.
Do you see where the latest build of Windows 8.1 has been leaked? And surprise, surprise, the biggest change, it boots straight to desktop interface by default.
What version?
Windows 9.
Windows 9.
The latest build of Windows 8.1 Update 1 has leaked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how that happened, but last night I updated my Avast on the machine, and it wanted to reboot. And after it rebooted, it says updates are ready for Microsoft, and there were like 4 updates.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I don't know. That's XP. I don't know if it happens with 7 and 8 also. But, right at the end of the month.
This is I'm talking about cruising from a vacation perspective, but from a technology perspective, on the ship that I was on, which was built in 2012. We tried to pick one of the newest ships because our experience the last time on this cruise line was that they had a breakdown. That's why we had the coupon that we had for a good deal. But we picked their newest ship that was closest to us that we could go on, which is 2012. And I noticed on some of the point-of-sale terminals and other things around the ship that they were using Windows Embedded 7, which I credit them for. It was they were up to date. I looked at the screen at first, and I saw it had kind of gone to the screensaver, and I was watching it move around, and I went up to it closely and said, wonder what that is. I hope it's not XP, and it wasn't because the logo was different. So I saw eventually that it was actually Windows 7.
So they have good IT department.
They do. They do. And one very, very impressive part of this ship was the theater that they had. They had some video walls. I'm not sure what technology they used because the picture was extremely clear. It wasn't. There were sections that they could move around on the back of the stage. That were some of them in the front were LEDs that were transferred. You could look through, which were amazing. They weren't as high a resolution, but the ones in the back that they used, and they were in big panels. They could move around. They would have a scene where there would be people standing in the foreground on the stage that were in the same costumes as video of people that were in the background, that you had to look close if you were in the back to tell that wasn't real. It was the resolution was so good and the image quality was so good. And they used that to full effect. I mean, it was just really well done. Spend some money on that.
Well, let's see. Last week we were talking about IBM selling their server, one of the server
low-end servers, yeah.
So Gene sent me a link where we're saying, why would they do that? And here it said, Lenovo of China, already a world largest maker of personal computer, has purchased from IBM one of the world's largest computer server business for what seems like a rock-bottom price. Lenovo gets market share in an area where it is small. It is a small player. IBM is shedding a business that was killing its profitability in higher margin software and services. What seems something like the proverbial win-win deal is more likely a sign of how fast things are changing in the trillion-dollar global technology industry. Businesses like PCs are losing ground to mobile devices like smartphones, and the once formidable computer server is increasingly viewed as one more commodity piece of global spanning cloud computing project from a few elite player. So it seems like IBM was glad to sell it, glad that somebody actually wanted it. And that's an interesting situation there when you don't think about, they're trying to get rid of it for a long time, I guess. And there was another one about, listen to this. Google announced that it will be selling Motorola Mobility. Guess to who? Lenovo, for the sum of $2.9 billion US dollars. Google said the move would allow the company to receive the attention and focus it deserves in order to thrive. From the announcements, it says the smartphone market is super competitive, and to thrive it helps to be all in when it comes to making mobile devices. It's why we believe that Motorola will be better served by Lenovo, which has a rapidly growing smartphone business and is the largest and fastest growing PC manufacturer in the world. This move will enable Google to devote our energy to driving innovation across the Android ecosystem for the benefit of smartphone users everywhere. Google was quick to add that this does not signal a move away from their other hardware projects. Additionally, Google will retain the vast majority of Motorola's patents, which they hope to continue using to stabilize the Android ecosystem. The deal has yet to be approved by either the U.S. or China. But there you go. I mean, Lenovo is just buying. Remember, when was it, in the 70s, 80s, China was buying real estate in the United States, like big buildings that couldn't make it, and they would come in and bail them out and buy it, and everybody was saying, "Boy, they really own us." Well, they're not stupid.
That was mainly China back then. That was a lot of real estate they bought, and that didn't work out so good for them. But no, I know what you're talking about China. With it's interesting how Lenovo is 50% owned by the Chinese military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that I mean, you would think. I mean, I never heard about Lenovo smartphone anything. What? I mean, they were saying that they are the fastest growing smartphone company?
PC company.
No, it said here. It says served by Lenovo, which has a rapidly growing smartphone business and is the largest and fastest growing PC manufacturer. But what does Lenovo? I mean, when I hear Lenovo, I don't even connect it with smartphones.
Let me see if they make a phone.
I don't know what.
Oh, they make those tablets. I wonder if that's what. Oh no, they have a few phones actually.
Really?
Yeah, they're Windows phones. The K900 is their newest one.
So I guess they are.
Yeah. Andrew said it's growing in China. Yeah, as to be expected.
Yeah, if they handle this line like they handled the IBM ThinkPad, I think they'll do fine. I found it interesting watching Leo Laporte on his radio show yesterday. He had just gotten a new another Moto X, and it was the one with the wood back. I think it was walnut, and he made the statement on his show that the Moto X is the best smartphone that has ever been made. He likes the features on it. I believe he was part of a select group that got invited to, get a look at it before it was actually revealed. It's doesn't have the same specs that a lot of the other smartphones do as far as processing power and screen resolution, but it has some other features that makes it a pretty nice phone. Be interesting to see what happens with the employment situation in this plant that they have in Texas for putting these together. Yeah, Andrew says he also liked the HTC One, and the HTC One people are happy now. They were lighting torches and carrying pitchforks because they weren't going to get KitKat updates, but now it looks like they're going to be getting them.
Here's another interesting fact. The writer writes, I think this is all you need to see to know what legacy Steve Ballmer has left at Microsoft when its IE browser market share has collapsed from a high of 86% 8% in 2002 to just 9% now. I guess this is just another in a long list of tech companies that fail to maintain its dominant market share. Also, IE may be the one product that never really deserved it, but just piggybacked on Windows, and users left in drove once decent, more secure alternatives and standards became popular. Microsoft stockholders probably don't feel too badly about the Ballmer legacy overall, though. Browser choices is a pretty small arm of the octopus. IE 9%? This is just amazing. I mean, it's on each and every computer, but it's not being used, I guess.
I know that my grandparents are still using IE.
Only time I use IE is after developing something and wanted to see if it works in IE also. But 9% from, I mean...
Well, you have people that get Windows computers that don't know anything about them, and they just use whatever's defaultly installed. And I mean, that's just...
Right.
Even you tell them to use something else, like I keep trying to push my grandparents to use Chrome or Firefox or anything besides IE, and it's just... Every time I
they
go
don't
over,
want to, or I mean,
they just don't know.
A lot of
it's
people.
Different.
Go ahead, Steve.
Like I say, it's different in the UK because of the EU government made Microsoft give people a choice. They forced them into giving people a browser choice of IE, Mozilla, Opera, or Google Chrome on your startup screen, so you aren't forced to using IE. They have to give you a choice. Which obviously Microsoft didn't like, and they certainly didn't like the millions of pounds fine that they got. But serves them right. They should have listened.
How was that? Ha ha ha.
You need to have a little twist the mustache as you say it.
It is horrible when you are restricted, especially to new users. I mean, you're going to look at whatever's there. And, invariably, you're going to, until you get used to the device, you're going to use what's on it. And it might be perfectly okay for you, but whether it's safe, another story completely.
Yeah. So, Bruce.
Yeah.
How is healthcare coming along?
How's healthcare coming along?
Yeah. Loaded question.
Well, I mean, we just got a bill from Medtronic, and under the new plan that we have, which is not an affordable health, it's not a healthcare.gov plan, but our new plan has been affected by the healthcare. The Affordable Care Act, and supplies are going up. If you go to Medtronic's Facebook page and you read some of the comments there, I mean, people are experiencing a lot of increases, and so it's kind of interesting. But
I am part of a group that says that the economy is coming back as a direct result of the Affordable Care Act.
No. That's some other whoppers that they've said.
I don't know how to deal with ignorance and stupidity.
I heard a great thing the other day. It said, we need to reelect Nancy Pelosi so we can find out what she's thinking.
Yeah.
We're going away from the core here. Who's using Medtronic? Bruce?
Oh, my wife, insulin pump.
Hannah, my daughter, was using it, and she went with it's pods. You know how I can't remember the name of it now, but with Medtronic, you have to buy the pump itself.
Mm-hmm.
With that other company, and she's been with them for about 3-4 years now. Each pod is its own pump, and it's a lot cheaper too. I really don't understand how they do it. It's a whole pump is built into each pod, and the pod attaches to your body. It's a small thing, and there's no tubes, nothing. It has like a PDA that you control it and adjust the rate. But the main thing is you don't have to worry about the pump going away. If something happens, you just change the pod.
Yeah.
And fill it and put it in, and it was actually a lot cheaper than doing Medtronic. I'm just telling you, so you may want to look into it. Insulet. That's the name of the company, Insulet, and it's very nice. Oh, I see. John saying, Amnon, you were breaking up. I'm wondering, anybody in the chat, let us know. I mean, if you're watching on Bamboozer, is it okay? It seems to me like Bamboozer straightened up. They changed servers and database and ISP. And last week when I was doing all the other shows, everything seemed to be okay. I'm wondering if it was the time. But are you connected to Bamboozer, or are you on one of the other CDNs, the other sources under the video? Yeah, so you see, I think Bamboozer got their bandwidth problem fixed. As long as John is saying, I mean, you were breaking up, that's fine. That means it's okay now. Well, good.
Well, I just started a Bamboozer stream of when I'm sending an XSplit, and in less than a minute, I dropped 403 frames.
Wow. Okay, let me see here how many we dropped so far today. Is 155, and it's been an hour.
Mm-hmm. Maybe something I may need to delete that channel and redo it or something. Something may be amiss with it.
Yeah, it seems to be fixed. Oh well, Alan's saying it stopped for him once. Don't go change around, guys. I mean, if you're watching it on one of the other ones, don't switch back and forth. I'm just wondering if ones who are on Bamboozer are having problem, and that's good. Remember last week also we were talking about Backblaze and hard drive reliability. Well, this is also from, it says, a recent study of hard drive reliability by Backblaze was deeply flawed. According to Henry Newman, a longtime HPC storage consultant. Writing in Enterprise Storage Forum, Newman notes that the tested Seagate drives that had a high failure rate were either very old or had known issues. Now, I thought that Backblaze said that they were using drives for 3 years and then changing them, so I don't know what means real old. The study also failed to address manufacturer specifications, drive burn-in, and data reliability, among other issues. The oldest drives in the list is the Seagate Barracuda 1.5 terabyte drive from 2006, a drive that is almost 8 years old, since it is well known in study after study that disk drives last about 5 years and no other drive is that old. I find it pretty disingenuous to leave out that information. Add to this that the Seagate 1.5 terabyte has a well-known problem that Seagate publicly admitted to. It is no surprise that these old drives are failing. Well, I'm saying Backblaze told the truth, and I think that guy Newman is also looking from a different side. I mean, they have drives on their racks that are doing backups, and the Seagates are failing. Whether Seagate admitted to it or not, I mean, first of all, I've got hard time to believe that they're using a 2006 vintage drives that have the drives spin and work hard all the time. But it doesn't matter whether you admit it. The fact is, well, it's got a problem. I can't remember that far back, but in 2006, did we have 1.5 terabytes? That was a consumer product. I don't know. But I'm sure that guy Newman, what he's saying, if he's that kind of an authority, what he's saying is true also. So the point was that that Hitachi was the best drive is still stand. It's just he's talking about what problems they had with Seagates. So he's not disputing the rest of the Western Digital and Hitachi. I think I'm going to try Hitachi's next time and see. And when I was talking about it, Mike, with the guys at Draymond, and Bob was saying, it's not Desk Star, it's Death Star. And I remember those Desk Star drives. I mean, every time a computer came in with a bad drive, it was always a Hitachi one.
Yep. And who was telling us that Hitachi now are their favorite drives?
That was that Backblaze.
No, somebody else.
Oh, I don't know. But I'm gonna try it. I mean, if things may have changed.
I think it goes in cycles, maybe.
Maybe.
All I know is Western Digital's crap now.
Yeah, you really have to fish to find.
We need some industrious reporter to do a expose on what's happening with hard drives and why does the quality change from company to company, year to year.
Well, no one can know any more about the quality of hard drives than Google.
Yep.
Yeah,
and why
true.
they don't report that, I don't know.
Because then those companies will not advertise with them.
Well, oh, darn.
Oh, darn. Darno. What else? Our number is 919. I was going to say 852. 573. No. Why am I? 518-9773. 919-518-9773.
I just bought my daughter a new Brother laser printer.
Which one?
The HL. Oh, heck. Give me a second.
Was it on sale recently?
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. It's the HL 5470 DW.
So it does
It's
duplex.
wireless and it does duplex.
Correct.
Yeah. How much?
And she's still in the box. Haven't tried to hook it up yet. I went in a while ago and downloaded all of the manual for it. They're going to pick it up today. But what was interesting about it is went to Staples. The regular price is $249. It was on sale for $199. On top of that, I had $28 worth of rewards that had accrued. They also had another deal that they would give you $50 to trade in any printer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have several printers around here that are toast.
Right.
So I grabbed one, took it over there, and they gave me $50 for it, and I walked out of there with the printer for $130, including tax.
Very nice.
They have an all-in-one laser that, from what I could tell, does pretty much the same thing for $129.
I think it's wired is the only difference.
I think it's wireless.
Is it wireless? Yeah, I got to look.
Yeah.
Today in Staples?
Oh, not today. This was yesterday.
Oh.
It may be different today.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty consistent that you'll find a good deal on a brother from week to week, depending on what it is you're looking for.
Mike, you know how you were talking about Amnon going and finding all those deals and homework with the generator and all that?
Yes.
Well, I'm sort of like it with printers too. I'm all brothered up right now in the office here. I've got 3 brothers that one for Kathy to use and 2 for me, one for just for checks and one for everything else.
Are they Groucho, Harpo, and Zeppo? 3 brothers?
No, and here's what I did. I bought them all off of Craigslist from $25 to $40. The 2070W, the HL 2070 are really the best as far as the size, and they do the Ethernet and wireless. They don't do duplex, but the truth is, I have another one that does duplex, and I never use it as duplex.
Oh, I love duplex.
Okay.
The rare times that I use paper, I really like to be able to print it, because invariably, if I print it, I'm probably going to ultimately throw it away and save the digital version anyway.
But I bought them because they use the same supplies. And I always look and say, okay, I don't want to have 7 different cartridges and drums. The thing with the thing that's nice about the Brother is you buy the drum separate than the toner. So it's cheaper. Not only that, but you get to use the till it is gone. While with like the HP or the other ones that have the cartridge that includes the toner and the drum in it, when the toner is gone, you put a new cartridge in there that you also have the drum in. What'd you say, Spence? I'm sorry.
I'm saying you got to change the drum out. You can't keep using it.
Yeah. Yep. So with this, you use the same drum. It looks like a cartridge, and it just one sitting inside the other. And it's very nice. They are fast. They're like 23 page and 30 page per minute. They're very good printers, and the size is really compact. So
well, we'll see how it goes. This is the second Brother printer. She has an MFC 465N all-in-one.
Yeah.
Inkjet.
Right. Yeah.
And she loves it, but it's showing its age. It's getting temperamental. Plus, she's in law school. She doesn't need to be printing a bunch of crap on inkjet.
And besides, does she really need a multifunction one? Does she use...
Well, it would be helpful to be able to do some scanning. Nobody needs faxing anymore, but it would be helpful to be able to do some scanning. And so the other one she will probably keep and use as a scanner. It does do scanning when she can keep it working. And they are a mixed family now. Her husband has a Mac. She uses a real computer. I mean a PC.
Yeah, I have no problem printing from my Mac to both of the Brother printers that I have. I especially I have a Brother printer scanner fax laser. It's a couple of years old. It's wired networking, which is, in my case, it doesn't matter because it's sitting right next to where my network is. But what I especially like about it is I use Adobe Acrobat Pro to scan documents. I create, every time I finish a handyman project, I report it to, even if I'm doing it myself, if it's a job that I'm doing on my own, I build a spreadsheet of activities, days, costs, all that stuff, and I put it into, that's how I create my invoices. But I used Excel, and then I convert it to PDF, and then I use the scanner to. There's a under Acrobat under the Pages menu is a add to document from, and it gives you a bunch of things you can, from another file, whatever. You can do it right from the scanner, so you can just put the receipts into the scanner and say add to document from scanner. It will put it right at the end of the document, add all the receipts. I love it. It's so nice to have a sheet-fed scanner. It does both. Obviously, you can lift the top up and have glass just lay the receipts on top of, but works especially well.
Yep.
And I bought this printer for a single project a number of years ago when I was working documentation for an application for my mother, where I had to go back and document and scan in documents for years and years and years. I used this to convert all of the paper I had to PDFs, and then forwarded that to the people that I was working with, and it was just fantastic. And it's still a fax machine, which I use maybe twice a year.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, yes.
What's new in the WordPress world and the Roku app world, and what's you involved?
What? What do you mean by what's new?
I don't know. I mean, is there any big news that came out about WordPress? Is there any problems? Does people need to do something to their current?
No. But if you're currently running an older version of WordPress, and you're thinking about updating, because I know updating is a big thing with WordPress, make sure you, or at least this is what I always do. I run an XAMPP server locally, which just runs MySQL and PHP and Apache and all that stuff. Make sure you download your site and then recreate it locally on your computer, do the update, see what it breaks, and then you can push the update live on your website. That's what I would recommend for WordPress.
What a lot of people that use WordPress don't know what they have. What is an older version? What is the latest version?
3.8.1, I believe, latest version.
So
but the interesting thing that they've started doing is that, so I updated a few of my client sites to 3.8, and they're automatically doing updates now, which is a big no-no, because
things
every
break.
time you do an update, there's plugins become incompatible, themes, functions of the themes don't work. I mean, it's a disaster to update WordPress. So make sure you keep a backup so that if it does break your site, you can always go back to 3.7 or whatever version you were previously on.
So you cannot turn off automatic updates?
Somebody told me there was a way to do it, and I just have yet to do it. The two sites that automatically updated are really minimal sites, so I don't think they're not really running any plugins. So there's no. I'm not worried that there is going to be any issues, and I'm doing backups. So if there is an issue, I can always just restore.
You could always add the backup server address to your hosts file.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, WordPress is always it's a really great tool, but there's just a lot of mishmash going on with it.
Yeah, and a lot of break-ins into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like the only reason people are breaking into it is because everybody uses it. I mean,
because the people are not keeping it up to date. And
well, for example, RadarGaming.net is not up to date at all. My theme completely goes back to defaults when I update WordPress.
Yeah, but you know how it goes. The shoe repair guy walks with shoes that have holes in it, or without shoes.
No.
I mean, what I was leading it with that is Nick, through his company, does WordPress installations and maintenance, which is much more important. And if you and WordPress is, I'm beginning to get converted more and more to think, yeah, it is a valid way to build a website.
It's amazing.
And but it's very important to keep it up to date as far as what's going on and backing up. And these are services that Nick, through CraigDigitalDesigns.com, offers these services. So you don't have to worry about these things. You see, he does it for you.
No, but it's definitely an important thing to make sure that the site is, like you said, running the current version, because every 0.1 release that comes out, they just kind of drop the older version, and people that are still running that are susceptible for SQL injections and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's always the same. The more popular something becomes, it's like the old forum days when I used to run the forums. InVision was a very popular one. You got BB Board and all the rest of it. As soon as one of them becomes more popular or very popular, they start to hit it because they know they can get in. People aren't updating it and keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes updating, it's like with Radar Gaming, it's almost it would be more of a hassle to update it. It's almost like I need somebody to hack in and break it so I have an excuse to redo it.
Yeah,
I mean, I would literally have to spend a week redoing the theme. I did so much customization to it.
It's not like a car where you buy a car and perhaps you don't do anything at all to it apart from put a few personal bits and pieces in. There's so many modifications and things that you can put on and add to. It would take forever and a day to actually get it back looking the same again, with all the additions and features and color schemes, you name it, all the little jits and gadgets and things. It just becomes a nightmare.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, it isn't worth it. And I
it's not.
understand when people say, hey, I don't update my WordPress because it's just such a pain that it's not even worth it. I'd rather have somebody compromise my site so that I actually have something to restart from.
I used to look forward to the days when my computer would break down to give me something to do.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a little bit like the people that say, "Oh, I can't program." In the old days, they said, "I can't program the video recorder." There are people out there that are like that. They could probably do it if they put their mind to it and thought, "Well, let's just spend 10 minutes doing it." But people don't have the time, the gumption, or the energy, or the wherewithal to do something like that. Why bother when you've got a wife or a son or whatever that can do it? Why bother learning how to do it yourself when you just say to them, "Oh, 7 o'clock on CBS, please, thanks."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're too lazy.
It seems like we're in the mode of having a major hack every week. This last week it was Yahoo Mail. These things seem to be stepping up. Is that the feeling that you have?
I mean, I don't know. What do you mean stepping up? That it's happening more and more?
Well, yeah, and we're seeing more major hacks taking place. You'd think that some of these places would be a little more secure. It just seems to me that the frequency is, and the...
You would think that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing that they don't pay attention to it as much as like you do. I don't know. Larry, is that you here?
Yes, it is.
Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to say that I'm glad that Steve's back, and you better not ever leave us again.
Hey, Larry, nice to hear your voice. How are you?
All right, fine, sir.
That's awesome.
Awesome. And the rest of you, I want to say hi. But anyway, I want to ask the major printer guy, Mr. Spence, whenever you're using the Brother printer that you talked me into getting, and it's got the scanner, when you go to scan a document, I know it's bound to be an easy setting, but whenever I print it, where I scan it, it comes out as a JPG. How do you get it to come out as a doc file?
You won't be able to do that, Larry, because it scans in as an image format. It doesn't scan in as a document format. You can convert it into a document format, but it scans in as an image.
Okay. How do you convert it to a document then?
You need some optical character recognition software, so OCR. It normally comes with it. You generally get it on the installation disk.
Okay.
And look for one that says OCR, or optical character recognition. When you scan it in, then you just run it through that, and then it looks at the shapes of all the letters on the image itself, and then converts it as best it can.
Right. I know when you put it in there, and it asks, you want to do it as OCR or something else, or scan. But I don't know. I just figured that since it was scanning, I did it as a scan. So I should do it as OCR then.
Yeah, OCR, it'll scan it in as an image, then it'll read that image and look for each individual characters and letters and convert it into text document that you can either save as text, or you may even be able to save it as doc that will include the formatting, like bolds and underlines and things like that.
Right. Yeah, because as far as doing the saving, scanning it as a JPG is good. Can't ever tell what I've got, because I'm blind. So I go try to look at an image, and it goes, "What is that?"
Yeah.
So I have to
OCR is what you need, and you may find, depending on the quality of the document that you're scanning in, you may have to up the resolution a little bit so that it gives it a sharper image in order to pick the letters out.
Right. Okay, I figured it had to be an easy way.
Well, there's always an easy way, but invariably it's the
Right.
hard way and harder ways that you find before you get to the easy one, or before you get to the point where somebody says, "No, you don't want to do that."
Right. All right. Well, I appreciate the information, and just don't you go anywhere else again.
I'll do my best not to.
Okie dokie.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Larry.
Yeah. Bye, Amnon.
Take care.
Take it easy, Larry.
Something interesting here. Mike Myers sent me a link to this yesterday. This is from PC World. There's a new Java application that's infecting Mac and Linux systems with a DDoS bot.
No, it's not. You must be doing something wrong.
Nick, excuse me a minute. Did you say Mike Myers?
Yeah.
Different
Or
one.
the Mike Myers.
The
The Mike Myers.
The what?
Not the one on TV.
No, not the TV.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. Carry on.
So the Kaspersky, whatever that antivirus software is.
Kaspersky.
Yeah, their research department found out that there's this new Java agent that's infecting people, and they're actually using IRC commands to run the bot, and essentially they're adding it to a network of DDoS, like a DDoS network, so that like a botnet, and they're doing that, which is pretty interesting because you don't normally see this stuff on Mac and Linux.
What was that?
Sound effect? Somebody's bicycle horn?
A Mac is going to get a virus or a spyware or a
This is
malware.
worse than a virus
Yeah.
because DDoSing is illegal. So
Yep.
I mean, you could end up having, the feds coming after you for DDoS stuff. And
Yeah, but if
you
they're
got no
using
clue.
the Macs to help them in a DDoS, at least there's a usage for the Mac.
There you go.
That is, of course, unless you're part of any of the entertainment industries or have been authorized by them to DDoS a site, in which case it's perfectly legal.
Yeah, to see.
Sorry, did I just say that out loud?
919-518-9773, computers 2K voice on Skype.
Did anybody see the story? I noticed it as I was scanning through Zeit when I got home yesterday about how there is apparently a proposal now to replace all of the E164 telephone numbers with IP addresses.
Oh, I saw something about that yesterday as well.
Yeah, that's something
Hello.
new.
Have they not
I
heard
mean, it's
of
all
SIP?
running on IP anyway, so why not eliminate that last bit of
Well,
I don't know
it's
what that's
more or less
gonna
all
mean.
need to do with SIP, isn't it?
What'd you say,
Hey,
Steve?
give me a call at 164.168.12.22.
What'd you say,
It's a
Steve?
nightmare, isn't it? I said it's like in calling in on SIP, Session Initiation Protocol. It's that you used to call in on TalkShoe with. It's, that, and what's that other thing? Not Andrex, I'm thinking of Andrex. Asterix.
Asterisk.
Yeah.
It's not all being done, but it certainly took off big time last year, didn't it? So who knows, maybe this will be the year finally that something like that's going to happen.
Hey, here's an interesting thing. My wife comes to me yesterday and she says, honey, I was taking the garbage out. We have a kind of a community dumpster type thing here in our apartment complex. And she says, I found these brand new laying on the by the dumpster. And so I said, well, that's printer cartridges. And so she went on eBay and found where, like, this package here alone of 3 is selling for $30 on eBay. And then there's 2 other black ink ones, and then there's a brand new color cartridge. So she says, why don't you put these on eBay and see if you can sell them, and you can get some money for them. But I wish somebody just throw these out. They probably got a new printer and they threw them out. So
that's why
I'm gonna put them on eBay and sell them.
What cartridges are they, Bruce? What number?
This is the number on it is 10B. It's a Kodak black ink cartridge, and got a triple pack. I'm not sure what. For the Kodak all-in-one inkjet printer, EasyShare 5000 series, 3200, 5200, 7200, 9200 series, ESP Office 6100 series.
Why are you asking, Spence?
Because I have a Kodak printer.
You do?
I do. Yeah, I mean, I was always getting criticized for not having an available inkjet printer for printing pictures. Mm-hmm. I have an inkjet printer, but it was an old brother, and it was not really optimized for pictures. And so not last year, but the year before, Pam bought me a Kodak ESP 310, which is a scanner printer, inkjet, which works when I need it to print a picture. It does a very good job.
Yeah,
so, and it's wireless, and
you can use ESP3, ESP5, ESP7, and ESP9. It doesn't say 10.
So this is the cartridges that I have are the 30 series.
Okay.
Yeah, so it won't work.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It must be so annoying for the person that owned those cartridges. You think when you buy the printer, well, I'll get a couple of extra spare cartridges for when I need that. And then 2 years down the line, or 1 year and 1 month down the line, when the thing breaks down, you think, oh, darn it, the printer's gone wrong. I've got these spare cartridges. No problem. I'll go out and buy another printer that uses the same cartridges. They don't make the printers that use the same cartridges anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother
They have
was
us
guilty
over
of
a
that.
barrel, don't they?
They would change their cartridge technology every year or so.
Yeah.
Update it.
Why have they not moved to universal cartridges?
Because they won't make enough money.
They won't make any money.
Well, look at what's that? Starts with L, I think. A printer manufacturer, Lexmark.
Yeah.
They won a ruling in the European court over here, banning people making replacement cartridges or what equivalent cartridges. They actually won a ruling that nobody could manufacture an equivalent inkjet cartridge.
It's just ridiculous that in the year 2014 we're still paying $30 or $40 for ink cartridges.
Yeah, I suppose we ought to be
freaking ridiculous.
We ought to be really grateful that all the computer manufacturers have agreed on USB. Imagine what it would be like without USB.
Yeah,
that would be such a nightmare, wouldn't it?
Ink technology is going to go away probably pretty soon, as the color laser is getting cheaper and cheaper.
That color laser photocopier fax machine jobby watch that I bought, the Samsung one, is absolutely brilliant.
But how much are the cartridges?
They're not that bad, actually. They're the round cartridges that you sort of slot into the front. It was a new model when I bought it. I don't know how many years ago. To be honest, I very rarely print anything now. So I may scan things, but I very rarely print anything. But then, in comparison to other cartridges, they're not that expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's that's going to kill the ink technology. But
It's just pretty crazy when you think about it.
yeah, I
When
mean,
you
at
think
least
how stupid the politicians and companies are regarding, landfill and save the planet, this, that, and the other, and yet they're perfectly happy for you to throw away, that complete mechanism just because it's empty of fluid or it's empty of toner. It's insane.
Well, same thing with even you look at battery technology. I mean, there's been no real innovation in that. I mean, we're still having to change AA batteries every couple of hours.
Soon. They reckon within the next year, possibly two, that we'll be using sugar batteries.
Whatever they want to use, so I don't have to replace a battery after I play Xbox for 3 hours. Ridiculous.
So what would you do, Steve? Once the battery is depleted, you'll take it and throw it in your tea?
It'll all be totally biodegradable, and you could actually refill it. Apparently, I was reading something about the technology, and it's very near to coming to fruition, and there's no harmful chemicals being used, so you can perfectly fine for when it does run out for chucking it in a landfill.
As long as they're cheap.
Well, it will be a lot cheaper because the components and cost of materials is way less.
I mean, have you ever looked at the price of rechargeable batteries?
Yep.
Ridiculous.
And they don't really last very long either. I mean, even this new technology, look at the old days of the nickel cadmiums and then the nickel metal hydrides and the sort of steps that we've taken and lithium ions that you've got now. The technology has moved on, but it hasn't really moved on in leaps and bounds. It's got a bit smaller, and it's got a bit faster to charge and possibly a little bit safer. But
yeah,
there's not been a massive leap, has there?
No, I mean, on Amazon right here, there's 8 AA batteries, and it's $20 for 8 of them.
You need to shop around. There's a few places over here in I say United Kingdom because they're actually offshore. They're on the island of Jersey and the island of Guernsey. It's something to do with the tax laws in the UK, but you can buy a lot of electronic equipment from there, and you don't pay the full tax that you pay on UK mainland. Which is why I buy most of my consumable type things from there, because it's very, very cheap. And that's the printer I bought.
Hey, Spence, do we have specials today?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
How much is it worth to you?
I don't know. We'll talk about it later.
We do have specials. And
Hey.
again, interesting, I saw a Tiger Direct television ad, but have not gotten and have not been able to find a weekly ad from any retail store.
I can't imagine it's more cost effective to have a TV ad than a print ad, right?
I don't know.
No, not even close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Somebody who works for them in their B2B side can ask him what's going on.
Yeah.
So the Dutch ISPs Ziggo and XS for All, I like that name,
This is an awesome story. Love it. Keep going. Sorry.
are no longer required to block access to the websites of the Pirate Bay. This has been decided by the court in The Hague. The blockade has proven to be ineffective. The Dutch anti-piracy organization BRAIN will have to reimburse legal cost of 326,000 euros. The internet provider Access for All has already started lifting the ban The websites of the Pirate Bay was ordered to be blocked by the two major ISPs in January 2012. Recent studies by Amsterdam University and Center Data showed that this did not reduce the number of downloads from illegal sources. Many people circumvented the blockade. So, interesting. I wonder if it's going to be a trend.
Funny as hell, I can't wait.
So, Steve, let's hear your commentary on this.
Well, Brain is quite inappropriate, really, because they obviously don't have one, the organisation. Tim Kewick is the guy that is supposedly runs it or is supposedly in charge. The one that there's got all the strings attached where they're pulling him like a puppet. He hasn't got half a brain to bang against a wall, unfortunately. The Pirate Party, the political party in Holland, they went after them first because as soon as the ruling came to block the Pirate Bay, they put up a proxy so that people could still get to the Pirate Bay from the Netherlands or wherever else. And then Brain went after them and got a court order and forced them to remove the proxy so that people couldn't get there. Well, it was, as this is just proved now, it's a total waste of time. They've just had to pay 320,000 euros, which is half that much again for dollars-ish. But what's called into question now is because of their insistence on making sure that the Pirate Party couldn't put up a proxy, where do they now stand legally? Legally, that ruling has now been overturned, so they're up in the air now. So until they go back to court to say, hang on a minute, this ruling was overturned, which is why we had to block it, what's going to happen to us now, and where's our money for compensation, please? It's a pity that more countries in Europe, especially the UK, look at things in a rational manner that actually looks at the technology, the way it works, and in order for them to see, well, physically there isn't any information changing hand between these people that is copyrighted. It's the individuals that are exchanging the information. It's not these sites. I look at the analogy that you don't go to the Shell fuel company. You've got Shell in the US, haven't you? Or BP, say, to get your fuel. You then don't, if somebody goes and does a bank raid and escapes in their car, but they bought Shell fuel, you don't hold Shell responsible for that. It's not Shell's fault that they used their fuel to make a getaway. It's insane. You've got to draw the line at who's actually committing the, in inverted commas, crime.
Yeah. Mike, do you have any comments?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay.
It's when you can afford to wine and dine and send off on holidays politicians and hand them pieces of paper that are so full of gobbledygook they don't even bother to read them, but just look at the bullet points and don't physically understand the way the technology works. Of course you're going to be able to bamboozle them.
Here's another interesting situation here. Naoki Hiroshima, creator of Cocoyon and a developer for Ecophone, writes at Medium that he had a rare one-letter Twitter username @N and had been offered as much as $50,000 for its purchase. People have tried to steal it. Password reset instructions are a regular sight in my email box, he writes. As of today, I no longer control @N. I was extorted into giving it up. Hiroshima writes that a hacker used social engineering with PayPal to get the last 4 digits of his credit card number over the phone when used that information to gain control GoDaddy account. Most websites use email as a method of verification. If your email account is compromised, an attacker can easily reset your passwords on many other websites. By taking control of my domain name at GoDaddy, my attacker was able to control my email. Hiroshima received a message from his extortionist. Your GoDaddy domains are in my possession. One fake purchase and they can be repossessed by GoDaddy and never seen again. I see you run quite a few nice websites, so I have left those alone for now. All data on the sites has remained intact. Would you be willing to compromise? Access to @n for about 5 minutes while I'll swap the handles in exchange for your GoDaddy and help securing your data. Hiroshima writes that it's hard to decide what more shocking, the fact that PayPal gave the attacker the last 4 digits of his credit card number over the phone, or that GoDaddy accepted it as a verification. Hiroshima has 2 takeaways from this experience. Avoid custom domains for your login email address, and don't let companies such as PayPal and GoDaddy store your credit card information. Now, that's easier said than done, but it's very interesting that that they were able to do this. And the only thing I can think of to do is to have a different email address on your website for things like that. I mean, if you have such situations, this is really bad.
That's not realistic, though. Come on.
I don't know. What's not realistic? That it happened?
Having different email accounts for all that stuff.
No, but if it's something that's that important, it would make sense to like with passwords. I mean, I know people use certain passwords for certain non-essential sites, but they use individual passwords for the very essential things. And I imagine it's pretty much the same for something that's vitally important. You segregate it and separate it off a bit.
Maybe. I've got enough emails. I couldn't imagine having to add more emails for important sites. It's just...
It depends how vitally important it is to your livelihood and, the things carrying on. When I had my website, the password was changed regularly every sort of couple of months, I suppose. And it was, really long and laborious to have to put it in each and every time, but you had to.
I think the biggest issue here is that why are all of these companies giving out people's either credit card information or like Social Security stuff?
Well, the problem with social media now is you can find so much information out by going to people's pages, like, the mother's maiden name and where they used to go to school. And there's so much information potentially of the question they'll ask to verify it's you. If you do your research enough, you can find anything about anybody.
Sure.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, this is not the first time this has happened. So why would you be able to get somebody's credit card information from PayPal of all places?
Yeah.
You try. I mean, I run through this quite often with nonprofits that change their board members all the time, and they, for some reason, put whoever is the current treasurer, they put them in the registry with their credit card to pay for it. And then this guy's gone and forgets to do this, and the next time that it comes for renewal, it says, no, you can't. That card is no longer good, and you try to get control of that domain. The legitimate owners or organizations try to get control of it, and it's hell. I mean, I don't know what they would do if I wasn't in between to be able to make these changes, because I know the people. So I can go in and I can make the changes. But if you have to, I don't know how GoDaddy is when it comes to do this. I had maybe one or two situations where I was told by one of the customers that that's where their domain is and they don't control it. And I said, sorry, you're going to have to handle that yourself. It used to be with Network Solutions in the 90s where you would have to fax them articles of your corporation, if that's the business was, or some kind of a legal piece of paper to prove that that's you before they were even talked to you. It's getting more and more lax these days. If somebody can just give GoDaddy the last 4 digits of the credit card and get information. What do you mean the last 4 digits? Ask for the whole number. So, yeah, I don't know how it happens, and I don't know that this will blow up to be something a lot bigger. Or I don't know that this guy may have used the password 1 on his thing. Who knows? And it's just a shame to say that. So yeah, that's not. But it's not fun. I mean, to have to give up or to be any kind of extortion is bad. I think if Twitter is reading this, if I was in control at Twitter, first of all, I would ban that handle right there, the username, put it on the side. What?
It has to be, because some people say a Twitter name worth $50,000.
Yeah.
There is no such thing. It doesn't exist, because under the Twitter terms of service, you may not buy or sell Twitter usernames.
Okay, so hopefully they will. I mean, I'm saying even if that wasn't the case, Twitter should put a ban on it and put it on the side, hold it until this case is
But Amnon, the point is, and this is unfortunate and it's sad, but it's just another illustration that these big companies don't give a rat's about the little guy. This guy may get enough publicity to get some leverage with Twitter, but they don't care about you or me. I mean, look at they go out and they randomly pick who they are going to do these blue check marks, what are the verified accounts?
Right.
They give them to some of the dumbest people you've ever seen. It's just a system. It's all about them. It's not about the user. You use it till you can't use it anymore, and when you get tired of using it, just move on to something else.
Yeah.
You have GoDaddy couldn't care less about the individual. That you can at least get someone on the telephone. But these companies don't care. I mean, I was trying to resolve an issue this week with. Who was it? I have to think about who it was. Oh, Amazon. Trying to get an answer to a question. So I complained on Twitter to get to their customer service people, and sure enough, they answered me on Twitter. Of course, the link they sent me is the same one that I complained about that didn't have any information about the question I had. I mean, they don't care. It's just all throw them a bone. They're just all about the numbers. It's just that that we as end users, and this is particularly true on the free services, the paid services are sometimes a little better, but the reality where we have become what are known as fungible commodities, and that is that it's like sand at the beach. If you take a shovel of sand at the beach and try to dig a hole, the hole fills back in. One piece of sand looks like another. There's no difference to the powers that be.
What do you call it? Fungible?
Fungible commodities.
Fungible.
One looks like another. There's nothing distinct about it.
Okay. Learned a new word. But that's true.
And it's the way it is. I mean, I'm not even really complaining. I'm lamenting. It's unfortunate, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
You get what you pay for.
Or less.
Or less, yeah.
However, there are some companies out there providing extraordinary customer service. For example, Land's End. You ever done business with Land's End?
Yes.
Awesome company.
No, but I've been there several times.
I actually sent them an email less than a year ago because I had one of their original monogrammed canvas bags. Remember those, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
And I just came across it in the attic, and I remember seeing something about a lifetime warranty. So I emailed them. I said, "Look, I realize you probably don't do this. This is very old. It's worn, but do you have a lifetime warranty on this stuff?" And they wrote very quickly and said, we're very pleased that you are inquiring about this, but we cannot warranty something that's 20 years old. That's, I'm glad you still have it, but basically, we're not going to send you a brand new one because you wore it out.
Well, it's a lifetime warranty or it's not a lifetime warranty.
Well, it's a lifetime warranty against defects and things like that. So
and a lifetime is not really our lifetime. In a lot of cases, it's the product's lifetime, whatever they
something,
decide.
as far as I'm concerned, with a lifetime warranty has a lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
Not that I think it's a good idea to hold their feet to the fire over a 20-year-old wear out.
No, I was asking kind of in a tongue-in-cheek way,
right,
to say I wasn't demanding anything. I said just please, right. And they actually sent me a coupon, which was nice, which I haven't used, but.
And you go to, for example, even in Sears of all places. I mean, Sears is really. Sears used to be such a dominant retailer. Now they're almost unheard of. I don't know anyone who does business with Sears. Although I'm sure many people do, they're still in business. But I mean, I don't even think about them. But when you have Craftsman tools, you take one in, you say, "Look, this screwdriver's a little chewed up on the end. No questions asked. Grab one off the shelf, hand it to you, and it might be thorough."
Yep.
Of course, the one they're handing you now is made in China. It's a piece of garbage to replace the one that was good. But if they're going to keep replacing it for life, then. As long as you don't mind driving over there, then that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
There's some other companies providing really good customer service. Someone said that Best Buy has even started out on a routine to try to provide good customer service. And if that's true, that's very welcome. And particularly with Amazon now charging sales tax in North Carolina, it makes purchasing with Best Buy more of a reality, at least for those of us who live near to one, as far as I'm concerned. But they're going to have to give good customer service.
So did they start charging? Did you buy something and you got charged?
I have not, but they announced that on February 1st.
Actually, Kathy just bought a book. And I don't remember it having a tax on it.
Why is the sales tax thing such a big deal to you, Mike?
Because I don't like the way it was handled. I mean, for one thing, I'm not convinced. This particular situation is a little different. For starters, the sales tax is 7%. If I can buy something cheaper for 7% over here than here, then I'm going to buy it cheaper for 7%. All right, that's a given. The second is that under the law, the state has no jurisdiction to collect sales tax for companies out of state. The law does not give them the ability to do that. The company has a physical presence within the state. Apparently, Amazon has developed a physical presence within the state because they won't even comment about why they are starting to collect sales tax. The third reason that I have a problem with it and this is it's a biggie in my mind, is that the state already attributes $600 a year worth of purchases, online purchases, to all taxpayers. When you do your tax return, they'll say, all right, we're going to assume that you purchased $600 worth online and assess sales tax against you, even if you don't have a computer. Yep. So they took a wholesale approach to collecting sales tax. So now I'm paying double taxes on anything I buy from Amazon.
Interesting.
We're already paying something for online purchases, even if you don't purchase. $30 or something like that on the return. Don't we?
There's taxes and levies on all sorts of things, isn't there, that you're not necessarily aware about. Look at blank CDs and blank memory and hard drives now. You're paying a levy fee on those.
Yeah.
But in answer to your question, Nick, as a business person, I've always felt like that there was at least some level of unfairness that Best Buy had to compete against outside companies that did not have to charge sales tax. That, as far as I was concerned, put them at a pricing disadvantage. But I, as the consumer, I'm going to Best Buy, love them, hate them. It's pretty easy to hate them considering the way they operate sometimes. And at one point when I was doing an awful lot of buying an awful lot of computer stuff, and they are back when Circuit City was here, and how they wanted to give you a multiple orifice examination if you wanted to do a return. Sometimes they wanted to hit you with a restocking fee. I was not interested in that sort of way of doing business. In Amazon, for example, if you have a problem with Amazon, and for the most part their customer service is very good, and you go in there and say, I got a problem with this product, and they'll do one of two things. They'll either tell you to throw it in the trash can, or they'll send you a label to send it back freight prepaid. They'll ask you to drop it off at a UPS or FedEx drop-off point, but if you don't want to do that, they'll actually send a truck to your house to pick it up at their expense. We ordered for Christmas, a software thing for my son for a Christmas present. Unbeknownst to me, my wife and I ordered the same thing but two different brands. When hers came in, there was nothing in the box. No label, no disc, no sticker, no nothing. And she was able to just call them, and they sent a pickup tag for it. So,
Gary,
and
what do you mean? What do you mean?
Brent says that Sears owns Lands' End. I'm aware of that, and Sears hasn't ruined it yet. They also own Kmart, or Kmart owns Sears or something, and look what's happened there.
The slow death.
I don't understand why companies do that. The only thing I can attribute it to is egos. The managers cannot admit they're wrong and change their ways to adapt to changing things.
I think it's magical thinking sometimes, too.
I really don't know. I mean, that wasn't even a sarcastic remark. I'm dead serious. I don't know how you take something as successful and dominant as Sears was and just sit back and just let your dominance go out the window. I can understand how a Kodak could lose dominance whenever your core technology is eroded. And you say, well, wait a minute, they should have gone digital camera. Yeah, but that may not be their strong suit. They may not understand the digital market, and I think Kodak has failed to understand a significant portion of the digital market, but they understand chemicals and films.
Complacency is a horrible thing, isn't it, when it comes and bites you in the butt?
But you can't do that, can you, in business? I mean, you can't be complacent.
Well, they were, Kodak, it's interesting because they were one of the first ones to come out with a consumer affordable digital camera.
Yeah.
But what did they do wrong? I'm not sure. But maybe they just kept too much money in the film business and didn't put enough into the digital camera.
One of the things they did wrong is they made their software for the computer very what is it what's the word we use whenever it comes in and takes over your system and requires you to do things a certain way?
Intrusive?
That's a good word. I mean, it's
loaded,
invasive.
Invasive, but In other words, they acted like your computer was only there to run their software. Everything else had to take a second seat. You had to install. Remember the old days? You would say they would, if it didn't work, you had to uninstall other software, install theirs first, and then reinstall other software.
Oh, but like Adobe Flash.
Yeah, it wasn't Flash, but I mean, it's because, as far as I'm concerned, in retrospect, maybe this is not accurate, but as far as I'm concerned, what it really meant was they didn't know how to write software.
Well, their current software for their printers, I have it only loaded on one machine to actually have the native software because it's top heavy.
Yeah.
It does not work properly. It sits there and runs all the time. You can't shut it down. It uses up an enormous amount of processor just sitting idly. So,
yep. And in that note, what about specials?
We have specials.
Well, can we get them?
Yeah, let's go with that.
All right, we can go with that. And I do have, when we get to the point in the specials, which will be soon, about a specific product, and I have if Nick is still around, I have a question for Nick.
I will be here.
So, all right, Best Buy, starting with Best Buy. They've got the Kindle Fire HD 8 gig for $119. That's 20 off. It doesn't often go on sale. Samsung Galaxy Gear Watch. Ready for you, Amnon. You all set for that? Your Galaxy Gear Watch. Only $249, so 50 off. And you get an additional 50 off if you buy a S4 N3 Samsung tablet or watch. 11.6-inch Asus Celeron touchscreen laptop for $279.99. They've got a 15.6-inch Toshiba AMD quad-core A6 processor touchscreen for $399.99. HP 20-inch LED monitor for $89.99. This is the product I wanted to talk about. The Logitech Wireless G930 over-the-ear gaming headset, which supports, I don't know how they can do this, Dolby 7.1 channel Dolby. How do you do that in a headset? That's my question. I want to understand how that works. Is it worth $99? It's 60 off the regular price. And $99 is a very good price for a retailer. I checked out there to see, what is it selling for. I think the cheapest I saw it was eBay for $90.
What was the model number of that?
The G930 Logitech wireless gaming headset.
Let's see, so the 7.1 thing, that would probably be a mic question, but the Logitech makes great gaming headsets. Mike, are you here?
How did they do Dolby 7.1? It's got to be.
I have no clue.
It must be multiple. You've got to have more than one source. And even I realized that just by having it tuned inside the headset in the earpiece itself, they can probably simulate. I mean, obviously stereo works, and stereo can be enhanced to do multiple things. So, yeah, it's just fascinating. I think it's
probably a pretty
Dolby
good headset.
7.1 in a headset.
You stick electrodes to your skull.
That's it. Drill holes in your head. But it does have some buttons on the side which actually adjust the background noise. So very sophisticated.
There's also those buttons on the side. Logitech calls them G keys, and they're basically macro controllers.
Yeah.
So you could set those buttons to turn off the device, mute your microphone, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I thought
pretty
that was
cool
pretty
device.
Nice. Good stuff. They've also got the Logitech MK320 wireless keyboard and mouse combo for $24.99, 15 off. They have a USB 3.0 Seagate Portable Backup Plus hard drive, 1 terabyte for $69.99, save 20. 2 terabyte for $129.99, save 20. Western Digital 3 terabyte USB 3.0 desktop hard drive for $119.99. And finally, Brother Wireless Mono Laser with Duplex for $119.99, save $40. That's all at Best Buy. Office Depot has a 15.6-inch Toshiba E1 laptop, $249.99, save $130. They've got a wireless Brother printer scanner fax copier, all-in-one inkjet with duplex printing for $99.99, save $50. They've got a Brother Mono Laser printer scanner copier with duplex and wired networking for $129.99, save $50. We've got an Epson Small-in-One printer copier scanner inkjet printer for $69.99, save $30. That's the very small form factor. We've got an Acer 11.6-inch Chromebook for $179.99, save $20. They've got a 15.6-inch Toshiba AMD A6 touchscreen laptop for $399.99, save $180. They've got a Memorex portable USB DVD burner for $41.99. That's 10 off. I should also note that it is available at Office Max for $39.99, so a couple of bucks less. A 15.6-inch, I said that already, Dell Venue 8-inch Windows tablet with 32 gig of memory for $249.99, save $50. That's at Office Depot. At Office Max, they've got an OfficeJet, HP OfficeJet Pro printer scanner fax copier with duplex for $149.99, save $40. They've got an HP AMD E1 desktop computer for $249.99, save $50. That does not include a monitor. They've got the Motorola Surfboard 6141 Extreme cable modem, so this supports the higher speeds on cable for $89.99, save $10. They've got a Dell wireless color laser printer. We had talked about this a number of weeks ago. I don't think it was this cheap. I think it was $100, but $9.99, save $70. I think it's actually cheaper to buy this printer and use it till the cartridges are dry than it is to actually replace the cartridges on some other printers. Canon printer scanner copier mono laser with duplex for $99.99, save $100. 7-inch Samsung Galaxy Tab 3 with 8 gig of memory for $169.99, save $30. That's all at Office Max. H.H. Gregg retailer has one interesting item today, 10.1-inch HP AMD A4 touchscreen laptop for $299.99, and that comes with Office, with Microsoft Office. Not sure which version, doesn't say. That's at H.H. Gregg. At Staples, they've got an HP AMD A6 desktop PC for $379.99, save $100. That comes with 8 gig of memory and a 1 terabyte hard drive. Dell 15.6-inch Intel touchscreen laptop for $399.99, save $100. Wireless MK320 keyboard and mouse is the same one that I mentioned earlier, $24.99, save $15. Actually, a very good, just one I use on my desk. Good battery life. We're very happy with it. Brother MFC JDW wireless printer scanner fax copier with duplex. This is an inkjet, $59, save $40. PNY attaché USB flash drives, 8 gig for $699, 16 gig for $999, 32 gig for $16.99, 64 gig for $39.99. These are, might pay a little bit more for them, but the cases are very well made. They're a really good, high quality USB flash drive. And that was at Staples. More in 1 week's time, if you can wait.
Well, Mike came and gone. I guess you wanted to ask Mike about that thing, but we didn't. Hey, Mike.
You know, one of the things with a headset, I mean, obviously you want good quality, you want good battery life if it's a wireless headset. But, you know, one of the things to keep in mind about a headset that's as important as all of that, and that is the comfort of the headset.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're going to be wearing it a long time. You know, I've got, you know, people on my team and, you know, they like the wireless headset because they can get up and, you know, run to the kitchen, you know, and grab another cup of coffee or something else like that. There's so many different designs, over the head, over, behind the ear, behind the head type headset. And finding one that's comfortable to wear for a long period of time is a consideration. And
I used to have,
Yeah, and then battery life, I think, too, if you're working from home.
I used to have an early version of the sound isolation headset that I bought back, when I was traveling a lot, when I was going around the world. And these headphones, it worked very well on a plane, but you couldn't wear them more than 2 hours because it just made you just wonder, why do I have such a headache? And you take it off, you say, oh, it's the headset.
One of the other things with a wireless headset is you want to make sure you get one that when the battery does start going, that you can reach up in the middle of a conversation, plug in the charge, and continue to use it. I have a Plantronics wireless headset, and when this battery goes, it's gone. Whereas with my Logitech wireless headset, it'll start beeping, to let you know that the battery's getting low. All you got to do is plug that charger cord, put it back on, and you're in business, and you can use it while it's charging. That's really critical if you're working from home.
I got a great deal on a Logitech wireless Bluetooth headset. That was the only difference between the regular model and this one was a kind of a blue teal color that they marketed. It didn't go over very well. It was supposed to be sold to Apple users, and their black one was their standard one. It's exactly the same headset, and I got it for half price.
Yeah.
It works really well. Good battery life, very comfortable, lightweight, got a boom.
This is my favorite wireless headset. This is a Logitech H760, and I like it because it's a behind-the-ear design. Very, very comfortable, extremely comfortable to wear. However, and I don't like anything over the top of my hair. You get hat head, but there's an issue with this, and you can see that I have this wrapped. These have a weakness, but I like the headset so much that when I get a new one, I expand it out because I've got a big head, no comment, and then I wrap it with electrical tape because if I don't, it will begin to crack up here. But it's just a great headset with great battery life, and I can take this to the coffee house and have a conversation with people, and people can't hear the espresso machine grinding in the back. It's also, very, very small, so that when I'm using, this little bag here, which I keep my Chromebook in, I can slide that thing, right in there, and let me just grab the zipper here. And, so I got the headset in there with my Chromebook and the little dongle that plugs in the back of it, It's very compact, great battery life, good audio quality, good noise cancellation. But you got to wrap up that thing if you want to keep it together for a year.
I'm starting to make my lists and consider what I'm taking with me when I go for the summer. Mm-hmm. And I am looking at, I know my Pam is going to bring her laptop, which is the one she uses all the time, which is fine. And I'm just deciding what I'm going to take with me in the way of technology, headsets, and so on. So I'm going to do my best to join the show when I can. I'm not sure what my schedule is going to be like working up there. I think it's kind of a free-for-all when it comes to scheduling. But I don't know if I'll have Sundays off. But what headset I'm going to take, all that. What I'm definitely going to take an iPad. I'm not. I won't go without that. And deciding which of my laptops I'm going to take.
Spence, you're gonna ask Mike about the.
I have no idea.
That sound.
What was I going to ask?
But the
7.1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how do they do Dolby 7.1 in a headset?
No idea. No clue.
Hey, I got some really, really great news for you. Came out this last week. This is kind of tongue-in-cheek, but there's a company called Senti, and they make this little deal that plugs into the headphone jack of your Android phone or your iPhone phone, and when you get a notification, it shoots off a scent. And at first it was only going to be available in Japan, but the great news is it's going to be available worldwide, and you can get you have to buy these separately depending on the scent, but they've got rose, mint, cinnamon roll, coffee, curry, jasmine, lavender, apple, coconut, strawberry, and that's not all. They're joined by a special limited edition Korean barbecue collection. So
wow.
I guess if you're busy in your office and you want to get notifications in a meeting with a bacon smell, you can do it with Senti, Scentee.
Oh, the possibilities.
breaking tech news. I've been saving that story for the end, Amnon.
Imagine, you're just somewhere and somebody said, "What is that smell?" Oh, I got a notification. Oh, boy.
Can you imagine if you had one that had a flatulence smell? And everybody's wondering who did
What
it.
is that smell? Oh, that's Bruce is getting a notification over there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's got an LED light on it, too, so it flashes when you get a notification.
I came across an article yesterday that was talking about the 5 most not useful or whatever the word was, the devices for cell phones. One of them was something like you see me or something like that, and it was a little that you put on top of your iPhone. Did you guys ever see that device that they have that you put on the carpet to get rid of stains that just sits there and brushes and
Yeah, I have one.
something like this for your phone to clean the glass on your phone. You put it on it and it goes around and around and it just cleans your glass.
I actually read something yesterday that said that if you knew how many germs there are on your telephone and cell phone, you would be stunned.
Yeah.
You know how I clean the
believe
glass on my phone, Amnon?
What?
And this is the way that probably 90% of the people do.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Just rub it on your shirt or your jeans, your pants,
Yeah.
And by the way, too, you have to say that this is great glass, but with the glass today, I don't use a screen protector. I've never used a screen protector, going all the way back to the Trio 180 days.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. I guess habit. But can you imagine doing this? Or buying something like that?
Kind of like scrubbing bubbles for your phone.
Bruce, did you see what Steve put in the chat? Spence.
What I put?
No, Steve put for you. It said Dolby 7.1 headphones, how it works.
Oh, yeah, I do see it now, yes. Thanks.
Yeah. It's
I
interesting.
posted a picture that I stumbled across of related to today's football game.
What football game?
Yeah, there's nothing special going on today.
England ministers are looking at saving tens of millions of pounds a year by abandoning expensive software produced by firms such as Microsoft. Some £200 million has been spent by the public sector on the computer giant's Office suite alone since 2010. The Cabinet Office Minister Francis Maud, am I saying it right, Steve?
I don't particularly know.
Anyway.
Maud, is it M-A-U-D?
M-A-U-D-E.
Yeah, Maud.
Believes a significant proportion of that outlay could be cut by switching to free open source software such as OpenOffice or Google Docs. I want to see a greater range of software used so civil servants have access to the information they need and can get their work done without having to buy a particular brand of software. In the first instance, this will help departments to do something as simple as share documents with each other more easily, but it will also make it easier for the public to use and share government information.
Don't you just love it when somebody comes out and states the obvious?
Yeah, well...
And obviously, that's nothing to do with it in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
The underlying story of it and what they're really trying to say is, "Oi, Microsoft, you haven't taken me out for lunch or sent me unpaid for my holiday for the last 16 months. Can you please get on your bike and start sending me some money and invitations? Thank you."
Mm-hmm.
Did the stream stop on?
On what? I mean, yours. Why are you asking?
Because my monitoring of the show just stopped at 2 hours and 17 minutes. Weird.
2:24 here, and counting.
Something happened on my end apparently.
Wait.
Still says the broadcast is live.
Gary was saying something. No, I mean Bamboozer is still working.
Huh.
And the only one I've seen was Gary was saying streaming is not working there. But no, I mean
this was just recently. I mean, I had it in the background. I wasn't watching it real close.
Yeah, I see a live picture on Bamboozer, and I'm sure
it's back.
What?
Something happened here that had a brief glitch that made me look like it had ended at 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, sure.
I don't know.
That's all right.
Bamboozer must have fixed it. Isn't that awesome?
No, Thank you. They didn't break away because I see it. I mean, if they break away, then the show will be broken in half.
Oh, no. You'd need something like super glue to put it back together again.
Yeah, it's just a lot of time. I think I could.
The book I was reading one of the books I was reading while I was on vacation, I mentioned earlier, was called One Summer, and it talked about 1927. But one of the things that was significant was, and there were multiple things that happened, but one was the jazz singer, the new talkies, as it were. And they went into depth about, what were the things that stopped them from producing usable sound motion pictures until technology was changed. And it was fascinating to see what they did. They used to have, one of the ways they did it was they actually had a guy who would try to synchronize, start up the audio at the same moment he hit play on the projector and hope that it was in sync. So it was...
it never was.
No, it wasn't. But they finally, when they finally encoded the audio into the film, it's just one of the things was, even though they could have them exactly matched and start at the same time, if the film broke and they had to remove some frames to repair it, then the soundtrack was off. So, but interesting.
Interesting.
Anybody here have WordPerfect?
God, I think I might have a disc of it upstairs on a floppy.
I keep saying WordPerfect when I talk about WordPress, but no.
I may have it here too.
Jump into a time machine and go back.
Right. Well, they actually still sell it, and there is a function. I've got to create a document, and WordPerfect can do it effortlessly. Microsoft Word can't do it, and I'm trying to find the function is called the line advance function. WordPerfect had a function called advance under reveal codes. What you could do is say, at this point, I want you to advance by 6 points. And then what happens is the next line that you type is 6 points below the prior line. You could then say advance up by 6 points. It would put the line back where you got it.
Are you talking about indenting it?
No, it's more like subscripting, but subscripting Word actually changes the font.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the undesirable part.
I hope there's not going to be a test after this, because that's just gone way over my head.
There's got to be a word processor that does it. So other than Word, WordPerfect, OpenOffice, and Mac garbage, what else is there?
Hey, WordPerfect Office X6 Standard is only $59.
Where did you see that? Oh, I saw 160 something.
I don't know how reputable this website is. Snagstuff.com.
Yeah, Guido at snagstuff.com.
That sounds like a legitimate site, doesn't it?
It says, depending on stock, this item may be filled with a Corel bundle that includes multiple products. So apparently it's...
so you want superscript and subscript? Is that what you're saying, Mike?
It's not a subscript. It's just a line advance. On a typewriter, you remember on a typewriter when you're typing a line, you could do a click of the plate, and by one click, and it would move it down half the height of the letter.
Yeah, because normally it was 2 lines, wasn't it? It would like click 2 lines
Correct.
in order to get. So it's
but
like,
they let you move it a half click if you needed to, and that's what I need to do.
well, WordPad's got a superscript and subscript built into it.
But it also, actually, that may be a thought there. You said WordPad?
WordPad, yeah. You know, so you've got Notepad, and then you've got WordPad with formatting and bold and that sort of stuff. That's got super and subscript. That might do it. And that one's free.
Yeah. Well, the project's not worth spending a lot of money on, but I'd spend a little bit.
You would think that the cost of Microsoft Word and the other popular ones, that they'd have it. I don't know whether the free one, OpenOffice, has got it or not. I haven't really looked into formatting of text that much these days. I usually do it by sort of DTP software these days.
And you said that WordPad has subscript.
Super and sub, yeah. You're on Windows 7, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, it's, where are we? I've lost it now. Well, that's weird. It was here just now. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, if you look underneath the font name, you've got bold, italic, underline, whatever that is, strike through.
Yeah.
X and X2 below and X2 above.
Yeah, but if you go, for example, and I know this is an obscure way of approaching things, but if you type in text using Courier, which is a monospaced font, select a word, then pick subscript, it doesn't do anything.
So what was the font name?
Barely budges it, not enough to be worthwhile.
Yeah, but just to let you know that Google Docs also has superscript and subscript.
They all do, but Mike is saying that it's not doing for him what he's looking for.
I have a solution.
They've all gotten fancy is the problem.
Here it is, Mike. This is what you need.
Okay, a typewriter?
No, a Linotype machine.
Okay. I used to own one.
This big thing, the molten lead machine?
Not that big. I used to work on one.
I worked in my job as a senior in high school was as a messenger for a company that did typesetting, and I would take the train into the city and drop off and pick up copy. And the place that I worked for had a bunch of these Linotype machines, and that was pretty amazing. They would have an ingot of lead that would be melted, and they would actually make. The guy would sit there and type and would actually produce the individual lines of press ready. And I'll show you what that looks like. I can get a picture of it here. That is what the press ready output would be. Each of these would be a line of text that would go into a press. Pretty amazing. When you were done with it, you just melted it down and started over.
Imagine that every night they must have gone home with a massive headache.
Oh, true.
What was the machine that had those individual letters that you would just put in there?
It was just an ordinary typesetting.
Okay.
That's where you had the drawer, the drawers of different.
I remember when we were kids, we used to go to those print factories, whatever you call them, and it wasn't a shop. It was, and they would have all those letters in a pile, and we would take a handful and play with them. Lead.
Imagine.
That's when lead was safe. What? Sorry,
that's
Steve.
when lead was safe.
Yeah.
When they thought it was safe. Yeah. It's you imagine walking, to put the thing away. They must have been really heavy, and then tripping, and like just throwing all those individual letters all over the place. I would hate to be a junior in that job, because it would be like your job to go and pick all the letters up and then sort them and put them all back into their little segments. I think I just quit. No, I'm not doing that. You're joking.
So who's using FileZilla?
I have used it.
A lot of people do. On the same day, the world discovered that Western intelligence agencies were siphoning user information from Angry Birds and other popular smartphone apps. A leading antivirus developer revealed hackers are doing the same thing with one of the most popular open source applications on the internet. Maliciously modified versions of the popular FTP application FileZilla look and act just like the real thing, but include extra code that steals the login data typed in by users and sends it to an unauthorized server using the same FTP operation launched by the user without going through a firewall that might spot what it's doing, according to alert posted this afternoon by antivirus developer Avast Software. The malicious version is fully functional, uses the same graphical interface and component file name, the original, and masks itself further by avoiding any suspicious entries in the system registry. Overt attempts to communicate with outside servers or other changes, according to the January 27 alert from Avast. The most obvious difference are that the poison version FileZilla, OfficeZilla exe, is 6.8 megabytes, smaller than the real thing. And there are 2 DLL libraries included in the fake that are not present in the original. They're labeled IBGCC underscore S underscore DW2-1.dll and LIBSTDC ++-6.dll. If you have one of those two in your among the files, then you got the bad one. According to Avast, the official version Nullsoft installer is 2.45-Unicode. The Evil Twin uses v2.46-3 Unicode. Automatic updates also fail on the Poison version, which is most likely a protection to prevent overwriting of the malware binaries. So if you use FileZilla and you just downloaded it or something, be careful. Who just called in?
I'm sorry, I'm not. It's Eiffel.
Hello, Eiffel. Why are you sore?
I was
What is
just
that? I'm
testing
sore.
my computer capabilities. Sorry. This is the Sunday afternoon call. I love listening to you people talk. It's great. I'm not computer literate. I'm no technologist, but I love the exchange. And it was really good to hear Steve again this afternoon.
Oh, my God.
And always good to hear you, Amnon, Mike, Spence, Bruce, and Nick, and all other participants.
Steve is right here with you on Skype.
Nice to hear your voice, Eiffel. It's been a long time.
Oh, a long time, yeah, a long time no see, or whatever. It's been a long time.
Are you ringing in on the telephone, or you're on Skype?
I'm not on Skype, you know, I got the... Oh, do you still hear me?
Yeah.
You know, because my computer just overheated and just shut down. So I'm on the phone. I'm calling through my computer because up until now, you know, I'm one of those old fogies. You know, I'm still on. Up until now, I was on my landline, which is France Telecom. It's just like any ordinary landline you have, for which you pay a fortune.
You are calling.
At least 30 euros just to have the line, regardless wherever you call, national, international. So now I've always had a computer. You know, I'm not very articulate. That's why I never call. but I plugged out. I just, I'm in between, going between my landline and my computer line. Before I give up my landline, but I mean, I use the cable that they supply me with for television, for computer. But up until now, I've only been using the landline. That's why I never call in. Really not computer savvy, and I know I sound stupid right now.
Eiffel, how much is this call costing you?
You sound marvelous.
And I can't even see you people. You know what's great about you people is that we see you. Because not only do you get the voice, you get the body language, you get the face. And you know what? I just love it. I think it's absolutely fabulous.
And you get the squirrel.
What squirrel?
Apparently,
You know what? An old is that a trigger? An old friend of mine used to call me a squirrel. My name is Regine. My real name is Regine. Okay, so I'm not too embarrassed to call myself Eiffel because I have a very French name, Regina. It's not Regina. When I was going to Holy Cross school in Midtown Manhattan, they try to call me Regina, but I wouldn't even answer people because I'm not going to say autistic, but almost. I landed in New York with a French immigrant family. We were very isolated. And, life has its own history. And, I'm not going to say more because it's too complicated.
Where are you now?
I am in Paris, France, in the le 11e arrondissement, Bastille.
Bastille?
Bastille, the 11th arrondissement. I'm on the right bank, la rive droite. We have a river flowing through Paris. We have the left bank, the right bank, and I'm in what used to be one of the most my neighborhood was lower class in New York and here in Paris. And here in Paris, Bastille area, the artisans, artisans, the people who had trades, worked for the construction of Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And before my parents left France and came to New York City, my father started as a dishwasher, became a waiter, and was to become one of the maitre d's in one of the finest French restaurants in New York in the 1980s, when French restaurants were really big in New York. And I was born and raised in New York City. So I'm really bilingual and bicultural in that sense. When my parents left France, they really were peasants. And when I came to New York, I went to the local Catholic school on West 42nd Street, the Holy Cross. The church still exists. The school, that is over 100 years old, is being closed down because, they are regrouping the inner city schools in Manhattan. I was born and raised at a time when Hell's Kitchen was one of the last inner city ghettos. But I went through a big change, but because I spoke French and because my father was a waiter and was making money, and there was a French private school in Manhattan, elitist, very privileged, I went to the Lycée Français de New York, the French Lycée in New York, that has a history of its own. And I understand that my place was not there. And I do understand that later in life, in the meantime, we all speak the same language, whether it's French, English, or whatever.
Yeah.
And we keep that in mind.
Let me see. It probably will
Oh.
not.
What?
I'm sorry I said all
arrondissement-
that. This probably wasn't the place. I'm sorry, I'm not.
No, it's fine. I'm just trying to.
Is that you? I'm not. You know what? You sound different when I watch you on the computer than when I hear you on the phone. There is a distortion, Of course, people's voices, and I admire anybody that dares come onto calls and dares speak, because we have so many differences. We don't all articulate as well, and
But you're doing it at the moment, which is great, Eiffel.
Yes, Steve.
It's not often you do, but when you do, it's really nice to do it.
Well,
It's,
thanks.
It would be great if you could get Skype installed on your computers. I mean, it's very easy to do. You just create a user account, add Computers UK voice to it.
I don't talk much on the phone. I was, for many, many years, especially when I was growing up, I was silent.
Well,
Very silent.
there are times where you want to get
I
out.
don't have much to share in computer wisdom.
No, but sometimes it's just nice to get together and, you may have had an experience in the week that you can share with other people that are of like mind and,
I
are
don't call
interested.
in often. I just wanted to say hi to everybody because I listen to all of you so often. And I
we're
just
glad
wanted
you
to
did.
remind you people to keep on going and keep on, keep on doing what you do.
We
Well,
are
it's-
doing it.
Oh, thank
Participation.
you. I'm not.
We're going to keep on doing.
I'm sorry I can't see you people on my computer. It shut down. So I
That's all
only
right.
have the voice.
That's all right. Here's something.
Oh.
Here's something for you.
François Hardy.
Uh-huh. Oh, boy. Yeah, you're
Uh-huh.
good. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep. I don't want to play too much, so
The
they don't.
French touch.
Yeah.
Did you people see Daft Punk? I don't, dive too much into what's happening on TV. But it was interesting that they chose Daft Punk, this robotic team with Stevie Wonder and all that. But in any case, it was, it's a good song. I don't know what these people are doing, but in any case, we grab what we can and we stay with whatever good energy we got, right?
Spence, what did you ask?
What arrondissement does she live in? Eiffel, do you live in?
The 11th, Bastille.
11th. Very nice.
11th, near the 4th.
She's
Le
in the
Marais.
Bastille.
Yeah, and close to the 4th, Le Marais. Paris is like a snail. The first arrondissement is in the middle of Paris, and then you turn around like a snail. So you have numbers, arrondissements, the first arrondissement, the second, the third, the fourth. And the fourth touches the 11th. So that's where I am. And coincidentally, that was my building number in New York City, believe it or not. I don't, look too much into numerology or, whatever, but sometimes, I keep things in mind, whether it's good or not. As Saint-Exupéry used to say, there's no coincidence, there's no hasard. There are forces in movement, and you grasp them and you flow with them, and we can always talk about chance, coincidence afterwards. I don't know what the hell he meant by that, but I'm still trying to understand.
All right.
Okay, I'm not sorry for interrupting.
No, you didn't interrupt. It's always nice to take a break.
Yeah, sorry I didn't see you people on the computer.
You haven't interrupted, you've participated, which is
Yep.
all we ask for.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And especially when somebody's nice as you, then it makes it even better.
oh, thank you, Steve. And you can come to Paris whenever you would like to. It's so close. Come for a weekend.
Yeah, just
I have
swim.
an extra bedroom. I just stick you in my bedroom. I sleep on the couch like I usually do. I don't even have a couch. I sleep on the floor.
Hey,
That's no
hey,
problem. You want to come to Paris, you come to Paris.
Hey, Steve, I'll make the overnight flight to London. We'll take the tube. Well, take the.
Oh,
the,
yeah. Come
channel
all
over
together. Oh, yeah. Come along.
Eurostar.
Just hang
Come
for a couple
along.
weeks.
Come along.
Let's
Come
have
to
a pro.
Regine's. The
Hang
club
out in
doesn't
real life.
exist in Paris anymore, but my name is Regine. I can still manage something.
Swim,
Okay.
swim across.
Hopefully, one day soon we'll be able to. Now they've got the
Yeah,
Eurostar
keep that in
there.
mind. And we will call Regine because she is still alive. Maybe I can set up something. In any case, anybody is welcome to Paris at Regine's.
We'll remember that.
Yeah, that's
You're
Okay,
the same-
yeah,
the
keep
same.
that in mind.
The same if you come here.
I'm in the white pages.
As
I haven't been there
Regine
since-
Benjamin.
I haven't been there since 2001, but I'd love to come back.
Well, listen. Anytime you come to, I had friends of mine that came from Connecticut. Of mine, Marla Johnson from New York City. I shouldn't give names, but she's been living in Connecticut for a long time, and she's teaching drama, acting, dramatic arts in a private girls' school in Connecticut. I hate to give names, but you can always check on YouTube Marla in Paris Jazz Club. That's the last time Marla came to Paris with her husband. They've been married for 30 years. They have 2 grown children that are striking out on their own. I've known Marla for a long time. I'm childless. A lot of people are childless. So we are, at least I am, really trucking for people who do have children and, keep strong. That's all I've got to say. So Marla in Jazz Club in Paris, my funny Valentine. Happy Valentine's Day. Now that Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, I think, is probably the most important.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
I hope I don't get nobody in trouble.
No, you're not.
You think so? I'm not?
I don't think so.
Oh, I hope not.
I'm seeing somebody on talk show. Steve, you still here?
Yeah, still here.
Somebody on TalkShoe is saying, is there anyone here that can help out with loading TalkShoe Live Pro issue? I don't know if you want to...
Well, they have to go on TalkShoe. TalkShoe.
Yeah.
They had a yesterday night. They had a. If they go on TalkShoe, they'll see the. There are whatever you call them, classes or
Now you see, so you can get to us through TalkShoe, so you don't have to spend money on the phone.
Happy Valentine Day.
Happy Valentine Day.
Thank you, Google Translate.
Happy.
I'm just trying to get into TalkShoe.
I keep getting disconnected. I don't know, Mike. Every time I try that period thing, it tells me it was lost and it reconnects. I don't know. There's a problem somewhere. I don't know how that. I don't think that person is still there because nothing is. If nothing is blue, that means they're not there, right?
If it's not, you're not in TalkShoe Live Pro, are you?
I am. Well,
It's showing you.
TalkShoe Live. It doesn't say Pro, but I know when I click on it, it says Pro. When I start, but right now at the top it says TalkShoe Live. Actually, it does say it says TalkShoe Live Pro 2.0 on the top bar. But I keep getting disconnected like we used to in the beginning.
I'm not calling through TalkShoe, but even if you are on TalkShoe, you can be disconnected in chats. That happens, no doubt.
Oh, they keep hearing us, but
But my computer, I just...
Okay. Oh, no, I didn't mean for you to start it if it's overheating. Is this a laptop?
Yeah, well,
by
I
the
want
way?
to check. After a while, it overheats. I mean, I'm just dying for it to cool down so I can start it again.
Is this a laptop or a desktop?
It's an old laptop. It's an old Mac.
Do you ever vacuum the area where the fan is?
I had the battery replaced 2 years ago, and
Yeah, if you need to take the vacuum hose and put it on the bottom there, you'll see where the fan is, the vents, and it may be just full of dust, and that's why it's overheating. Or it's also possible that the fan is stuck and gone.
I'm in there now.
Yeah, I see you. But
Was it guess?
But you see, I see you with the blue monitor next to you. But the other person riding the wind is not blue, so I guess they're gone.
Yeah, they would have left, and there's only guest 2 and guest 4 beside yourself in there now.
Yeah. So it's because I didn't see it because it was disconnected. I wish there was a way.
But I'll tell you one thing, Amnon. You know, even though, I mean, it's great to hear people on the phone. I mean, always. But, you know, you do have a special show in the sense that we see you live. Yes, that is important. And no matter how you look, that's why, Steve, it's about time you get on the screen.
We're all here.
Yeah,
We're all real.
I've got a...
Come on, not many people like you can do it, you know.
I've got the laptop now, and it's got a pretty decent webcam in it, so yeah, maybe I will one day.
I just mastered log back in right now. I've got the French commercial. Do you want to hear it? It says slow show paces because I got a commercial before I am able to log into a computer to now show your voice, show your life. It's in English. It's not a French commercial. Anyway, here I am, and I see you all forms. So I'll be bringing down my volume. Okay, here I am.
My excuse at the moment, thank goodness, is that there's only 4 slots for people to have their videos on. And, oh, damn, I just noticed that Bruce is going to be going any second. No, I can't use that excuse then.
No, I think it's excellent.
Before we hang up, I actually have a technical question.
We do?
I do.
Oh.
It's about time.
I agree. My iPhone has Skype on it. And for some reason, starting recently, when I get an IM on Skype, it shows up on my phone, even though the application is completely closed in the background.
Turn off notifications.
Okay.
Go into the settings. I have my phone here. Hang on a second.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I had sort of like something similar, but whenever the guys, not every time, starting a hangout, the phone goes crazy with music and ringing and all that. I'm saying, what is going on? And I see it. I was invited to a hangout. And I'm saying, what in the world? I mean, I don't do hangouts on the phone, and I don't know how to turn it off. And I don't want to turn off all notifications, Spence.
No, you can in the iPhone you can select which ones you want to participate in notification and not.
Okay.
And then you can actually go in under those and select under that app what kind of notifications you want.
Well,
you can have the type of alert, whether you want to have sounds or you want it to show up on a lock screen, things like that. So you can either turn it off completely or tune it.
Yeah, Mike, you read what Andrew is saying in the chat?
No, I was reading my phone.
Yeah, he says you need to sign out of Skype on the phone. And Vance is saying setting notification Skype. Oh, that's to turn off. Now this is on. I've got an Android. I don't have an iPhone. Yeah. But I guess I need to look into it. Hey, Vance.
Yeah, I got to run, guys. So thanks.
Hi,
Enjoyed
Bruce. Thank you, guy.
Make room for Steve to jump in here.
Have a good week.
Right, Steve?
On the laptop, I'm on the desktop machine. But hey, have a good week there, Bruce.
All right, we'll do.
Yes, we're winding up
See ya.
here too.
Oh, Vance is saying signing out doesn't matter.
That's what I'm telling you. They've
I have
added.
to. Same thing with Facebook. If you have the Facebook app installed, you have to turn off notifications because it will still send you things.
Wow.
Because once you, in order to even install the Facebook app and use it, you have to log in. And it doesn't matter that you log out because it somehow stays running in the
Settings.
background.
Now, this is an iPhone 4, Vance. I don't know if they've changed it, but if I go to Settings, then I go to Notification Center. Under Notification Center, I scroll down and find Skype. And I have alert style, banners, alerts. Alerts require an action before proceeding. Banners appear at the top of the screen and go away automatically.
There should be something there about being included or not included in notifications. If you go to
Show
alerts,
in Notification Center.
yeah, turn that off. And then it should go to another list. There'll be two lists. One says include in notification, and one says do not include in notification. If you scroll down a little further.
Nope.
Vance is asking what version OS, and then he's saying Spence is
Whatever
correct.
the latest one is.
And then Andrew is saying, yeah, Mike, but don't you want to be notified when you're actually using the phone with Skype?
Yeah, and that's the good thing. I'm not sure which one is which. The only thing I want to turn off is when the application is closed, I don't want to be notified of IMs.
Is that you don't want something popping up or the noise?
Either.
Or both? Either, okay.
Mike, just try changing alert style to none, but leave the other things turned on and see if that will still give you alerts when you're running the app. Because the app should do it, it shouldn't appear on the lock screen.
When you shut the app down, it ought to have shut down.
It should, but it doesn't.
Maybe I'll get rid of it.
Well, you could. I mean, it's a little more work, but you could go in when you start the app, just go into the notification center and turn Skype back on. It shouldn't be that hard, but.
Well, I'm going to try both because I don't know. We got differing opinions here. Some are saying log out. I don't even know where log out is on this stupid thing.
And there should be a way to log out because you can change user IDs.
Mike Vance is saying double click on the home button, drag up Skype if it's there.
That does not get rid of it. That's my complaint. That's exactly my complaint, Vance. Whenever you shut Skype, force it shut, it will still notify you if there is an instant message. And this is something I think that was recently added because something happened in the last couple of days. Something asked me somewhere, do you want Skype to notify you even whenever the application is closed? And I said no, but so much for that.
It's like one of them virus spyware that no matter what you say, it's yes.
Yeah, I got to find sign out. Where the hell is sign out? It's signing in.
Vance,
right,
why don't you call in?
Amnon, you mentioned last week about wanting to play music, and I seem to recall you saying that you sort of looked into licensing and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I didn't catch all of it because I wasn't really 100% with it last week. But I didn't catch all of it, and it's something that I'm interested in thinking of doing something on that sort of line. And I seem to remember you saying something like a couple of $100. But obviously I didn't get any details or stuff.
I remember when we started doing the show on the internet, and we were using the old theme song, which was Computer Love by whatever. And at the station it was okay, but here it wasn't. So we're talking about the very beginning. I tried to find out about license, and I called ASCAP. And going through it and talking to somebody, they were saying that for new media, which is what they call podcasting, it was something like, I think, $283 a year. And I said, and this will allow me to play this song? He said, it will allow you to play any song that you want, anytime. I said, well, is there something cheaper? Because all I'm trying to do is just a part of a song. He said, no. Either you have a license or you don't have a license.
I thought maybe they'd moved on a bit since then. I mean, I've mentioned it to Mike several times in the past over the several years. They're losing such a potential there for, I mean, if they were to charge, say, like $50 a license for somebody that wants to do something on the internet and utilize music, think how many thousands or hundreds of thousands of people that would quite happily pay $50 for a year just to play what they want when they want.
Well, I mean, again, if it's a podcast that's going to use music 24/7, then I would think that they should pay just like a radio station does, because they can actually reach a lot more people than a radio station, a local radio station, which has to pay a full license. But I think that they should give a break to a network that's only going to use, maybe one every now and then, play a piece of some theme or music. And they don't. This
is an untapped market that people don't, well, people do play music, but the people that don't because they're frightened of getting into trouble, it's such a massive amount of money that's just not available because they're not making it something that is easy. If they made a hobbyist license whereby you could play, say, up to a certain number of songs or whatever, I'm sure people would rip their hand off.
Right.
Perhaps we should start some kind of lobby.
Yeah, right.
They're always lobbying everybody else.
Try and lobby against the music industry. Right.
Well, no, in theory, you're lobbying for them, aren't you? Because they're going to be making more money. So you're not doing anything against them. You're actually trying to...
But that's
You're not trying to change anything. All you're trying to do is give them more money.
Yeah.
But you're both getting something at the end of the day. And everybody wins. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah. They were not interested.
No,
but at this point, I'm saying, heck, $200 and some a year. And you play whatever you want, whenever you want. Because Mike likes to play bits of songs.
Yeah.
And it's becoming a nuisance now with YouTube.
No, that's not true. I haven't played a bit of a song since you went through all that detail.
I know, but you would like to, I'm saying. And I want you to be able to without going through all this nonsense with YouTube. So, I mean, you like to do it, and I'd like for you to be able to do it. That's all. That's what I'm saying. It's a nuisance with YouTube.
Yeah, well.
I know it's not a matter of life and death, but anyway, I mean, I'm.
It would be nice to have the option, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to get out of here too.
Well, it's time. It's time.
Well, it's been awesome again.
Yes.
All
Steve,
right.
It's a good show. It's not the same without you.
Well, I'm glad I'm back and able
Absolutely.
to. Don't go away again. The feeling is mutual.
All right. So,
Steve, if anything bad happens to you and you die, then you have to telegraph something to us to let us know where you are.
Exactly.
I will make sure that there's an email that's set up, ready to go.
What you can do is set it for delayed send, and you keep logging. You said that I have passed away, and you log in each day and postpone it, and that way, if you actually do pass away, then it will send.
Yeah, and if he forgets by accident, then everybody gets alerted. Like, oh, what happened to Steve?
No, Steve's died. And then when I turn up, everyone will have a heart attack and die themselves. No, I don't want that, thanks.
Mike, who was it that kept us a little bit up to date to say that yeah, Steve was still alive? Remember somebody?
That was Jorvik, wasn't it?
Jorvik, yeah.
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 Did he tried to call you and couldn't get you?
Out of contact for about 3 months, close to 3 months anyway. But I'm back now, and yeah. So
good.
You and Mark Twain, rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated.
Well, if you expect my dad to do it, forget it, because he wouldn't have a clue. But my sister's a little bit au fait with computers, so I'll tell her.
Very good.
All right.
But that's depressing. We won't think. Look forward to next week. Have a great one, everybody.
See ya.
See ya. Thank you, Steve. This was a good surprise. All right. Mike Spence, thanks. Everybody that's in the chat, thank you. Do you guys want to say anything in closing? Nope.
Bye.
All right.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. So,
See ya.
good morning to Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together.
CR3.
Oh, yeah, good. I'm thinking, what else? Yeah, go to www.cr3diabetes.org, C3diabetes.org, and vote for Charles's organization to maybe he can get the grant from FedEx. I'm not going to bother you with too many details. You can read on the page what he's doing.
You have to have a Facebook account, so
Yeah.
if you don't have one, don't bother.
Yeah. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9. But you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And while you're at it, like us on Facebook. And follow us, please, on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's growing, and I like that. Tomorrow morning at 11, it's the Health In. And at 1 o'clock, it is Breaking Free. Until then.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, and if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.